Ni habari njema kwa wakazi wa Kajiado. Burdan tunayo. Nosim FM sasa inavuma kupitia masafa yetu mapya ya 105.7.
Kitabautwa County Olkejuado.
Pata uhondo na burdan kemkem kwa lugha unayoienzi ya Kimaa. Ukiwa na Manga, Rongai, Mashuru, Kitengela, Ilbisil, Kiserian, Ngong au hata Isinya, stesheni ya Nosim FM inakupakulia mambo yote kupitia 105.7. Ni mwamko mpya na Nosim FM 105.7 Kajiado County.
Nosim FM Osimlino.
Naam, hujambo mpenzi mtazamaji popote ulipo, karibu katika kipindi hiki cha Good Morning Kenya. Mie naitwa Victor Olo. Leo ni tarehe 7 mwezi wa 7 mwaka wa 2026. It's Tuesday. How did I perform, guys?
Well done.
Whoa.
Makofi.
Whoa, how was that?
Yani unataka makofi kwa kusema tu habari zenu.
I'm better than Marie.
Amenishtua hata mimi.
Oh yes, because today is World Kiswahili Day,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Na Kiswahili kitukuzwe.
Kabisa.
Alright?
Yeah.
Sijui kwa nini, naomba tu kuna siku moja tu tafadhali tuweze kuendesha kipindi hiki kuanzia mwanzo hadi tamati kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Haswa wakati wa leo. Vivian, unaonaje hivi?
Itapendeza sana, manake Kiswahili ni lugha ambayo ni tamu sana na ni lugha ambayo twastahili kukitukuza. Kwa hiyo mimi niko sawa. Tukiamua twende.
Angalau jana unajua Mike alikuwa na wageni wengine hapa kutoka Kenya High School. Walitueleza jinsi ambavyo sisi kama Wakenya tunafaa kuendesha kipindi hiki na kile chochote tu kama Wakenya kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Mike, jana ni kama ulikuwa na kazi ngumu.
Kazi haikuwa ngumu vile, juu si eti mara ya kwanza yangu kuongea Kiswahili. Lakini sasa hawa wageni nilikuwa nao, kuna kitu moja walisisitiza. Watu wanafaa wasome vitabu vya Kiswahili. Haswa wanafunzi ndio waweze kuikuza na kubobea katika hii lugha.
Kiswahili ngumu hiyo. You tried. Lakini haya, tafadhali chukua na urudishie Marie pale. Mweleze jinsi ambavyo sisi tunaweza kuendesha kipindi hiki. Marie, leo utatusomea habari kwa lugha ya Kiswahili ama lugha ya Kiingereza?
Leo umenishangaza au umenifanya vipi, lakini ni sawa. Sote ni sisi wote ni Waswahili, Kwa hivyo lazima tukumbatie lugha, lazima tuishabikie, tuifurahie. Yani kuongea tu you know, it's not supposed to be like unafaa kuwa si maringo wala si chochote, lakini ni lugha kama vile unaweza kuongea lugha yako ya nyumbani. Kama ni Kijaluo. Sasa lugha kama Kiingereza, kama anaitwa nani, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, the late,
Yes.
Alisema wakati mmoja kwamba mzungu akizungumza Kizungu anazungumza tu ili kwamba muwasiliane. Lakini Mwafrika akiongea Kizungu anataka kidogo ajigambe. Lakini unafaa uongee lugha ili uwasiliane, si kujigamba. Lakini ukiongea lugha, ongea lugha sanifu. Mimi nashukuru sana wazazi wangu kwanza. Kwa sababu Kiswahili ni subject moja kwa 844. Sisi ambao tulikuwa tunafanya 844. Sasa ilisisitizwa sana Kiingereza, manake zile subjects zingine zilikuwa za Kiingereza. Lakini wazazi wangu, kwa nini nasema nawashukuru? Kwa sababu lugha ya mama nilikuwa nasisitizwa lazima nizungumze sanifu. Na akikuzungumzia lugha ya mama lazima ujibu vile. Huwezi kuchanganyisha. Na kama unazungumza Kiingereza lazima iwe Kiingereza tena ni sanifu. Ukiongea Kiswahili pia ni vile. Nakumbuka mamangu aliniambia useme mtu ni mnono, ni mnene. So for that I thank them very much.
Lakini sijui kuhusu nyinyi, lakini naweza sema kuwa shule zingine ambazo tulisoma ndizo zimefanya kukakuwa na ule mchanganyiko, watu wengi wakizungumza wanaingiza kizungu ndani, yani hatuzungumzi Kiswahili sanifu. Manake shule za upili, shule za sekondari, ukizungumza Kiswahili punishment.
Yes. Ile unakumbuka
ghadhabu. Lakini kwa hivi sasa juu leo ni tarehe 7 mwezi wa 7, World Kiswahili Day. Tunakusihi kama mpenzi mtazamaji popote ulipo, tafadhali tuweze kututumia ujumbe ama rafa fupi katika mtandao zetu za social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Tueleze unajivunia lugha Kiswahili ukiwa wapi, na sisi kama watangazaji wa Good Morning Kenya hapa idhaa ya KBC tunafanya namna gani? All right, we've tried.
Yeah, that was great.
That was good.
Yeah, we can't speak Swahili.
We can. The likes of Nancy Okwari be afraid.
Yes, we can come to that Swahili desk that tuvuruge.
We can do this.
We can take over, yeah?
Yeah, we can take over. Nyas, wanasema simba kikosa nyama? Nakula nyasi. All right. Okay, so welcome back to the program. Today being the 7th day, of course, a lot is happening across the roads. Everything is just a little bit easy today because of the alleged maandamano, which of course is not there right now, but it's a little bit calm around the city center and Nairobi and its environs. So welcome to the program. My name is Victor Lo. You can find us on our social media handles at Victor Lo at KBC Channel 1. Please talk to us and tell us where you are, how are things so far. Today, let's talk about politics reloaded. So far, a lot is happening. I want us to talk about that. And the Olkalau by-election is taking shape and getting a lot of heat. That is slated for next week on Thursday. I'll take a look at that and why it is a do or die for both sides. Yesterday, we heard what former DP Rigathi Gachagua said, that Mount Kenya is locked. And the president said that no, it is not locked. That it's not locked, rather. So I'll be taking a look at that and why we should be ready for the next election. But before we get there, Octopus Victor Lo said yesterday that Spain was going to upset Argentina, and that's exactly
Portugal,
what happened.
Yeah, it was
Spain and Portugal, not Argentina.
Spain, yes, and Portugal. So CR7, that's a wrap for him.
Yeah, and I think it's a wrap for him altogether in World Cup, because I don't think we're going to see him in the next World Cup.
Most likely not.
Yeah.
So today is Argentina is going to be going head to head with the Pharaohs, that is Egypt. Yes. I'm predicting 1-0 or 2-0 in favor of Argentina. There is a Messi factor. They are on fire right now. Messi have 7 goals so far in the game. And I'm so sure he'd really want to extend because there's a tie between him, Haaland, and Mbappe, 7-7-7. So he would want to break that jinx. I know all of them, Argentina and Egypt, they have got a very tired legs right now because they have had games back to back. But Argentina would want to pass a message. Now that Messi is still there and Cristiano Ronaldo is out, there is that motivation to keep Argentina going. 2-0 for Argentina or 1-0, narrow win for Argentina.
Yeah, I'd say 2-1 for Argentina.
2-1.
Yeah, I think Egypt have to score as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Mari, tunaambiwa utupatie
mfunge
habari
virago
kamili.
at least for now.
Yes.
Yes, tuendelee na news. But you said Arsenal won, so I do not want...
Arsenal won. Merino scored for Spain. So that's Arsenal scored.
Okay.
Yes, they were.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, guys, for the banter and everything. So let's get to the news this morning. Thank you so much once again for making the time for us. This is Good Morning Kenya, and definitely we are here to inform you of what is happening, locally and also across the borders. But let's begin with some political news here, where a section of leaders allied to United Democratic Alliance UDA have dismissed opposition claims that the development projects and initiatives currently being implemented in Olkalau, Nyandarua County are intended to woo voters ahead of the upcoming by-election. The leaders say that the presence of the government in the constituency is meant to oversee the completion of projects initiated by the late MP David Njuguna Kiaraho while advancing the constituency's socio-economic development.
Campaigns are in top gear in Olkalau as the by-election slated for the 16th of July is closer.
We politic because of development. If it is this time that these developments will come, let it be. If the hospital, JM Hospital, will be elevated to level 5 because of politics, that's why we're in politics.
Leaders allied to President William Ruto have defended the development projects being implemented in Olkalau constituency, saying the initiatives target to transform the lives of residents and accelerate economic growth.
We really feel sad that the Nyandarua people, especially the Olkalau people, have a chance for them to get what the honorable member had promised them. But there are people who want to trivialize and politicize every situation.
Hatufanyi kwa sababu ni wakati wa siasa. Tunazifanya kwa sababu tulianza kitambo, tunaendelea vizuri sana. Tulianza na ule mheshimiwa ambaye amelala. Kwa hivyo na sisi viongozi wa Nyandarua tunataka kuona hizi projects zimeendelea na hakuna hata moja itakwama.
The campaigns on Monday were spearheaded by Nyandarua woman representative Faith Gitau, Laikipia East Member of Parliament Mwangi Kionjuri, nominated Member of Parliament Sabina Chege, Ndaragwa Member of Parliament George Gashagwa, and Ruiru Member of Parliament Simon Kingara, who rallied Olkalau residents to back the UDA candidate Moshe Nanyaga, whom they say will ensure the perpetuity of government programs in the constituency.
Pieces are coming because we, as Mount Kenya readers, we have told the government that whatever was left by Mr. Kiaraho, Honorable Kiaraho, must not be left there as the year ends. So most of those project members around here, you can see, those are the projects which were initiated by the late Kiaraho.
Na watu ya Olkalau tunataka waamue kwamba kwa sababu rais ndiye president wa Kenya na chama ni UDA, waendelee kufuatilia mali yao, ahadi zao kupitia mjumbe ambaye atafikia rais. Huyu mbunge akishauriwa ako na jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba ahadi zao zimetimizwa.
The leaders are leveraging on the government's development agenda to woo the electorate ahead of the highly anticipated by-election.
First time, we are witnessing a mass development of roads, electricity, and not only because of politics. This development has come at the right time.
Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
The National Police Service has declared any Sabasaba protests planned for Tuesday, July the 7th, 2026 in Nairobi County unauthorized, citing a lack of formal notification. Nairobi Regional Police Commander Issa Mahmood says security has been heightened across the capital city and neighboring counties. Now, acknowledging the right to peaceful assembly and protest, Mahmood stated that the law requires prior notification to facilitate security logistics. The business community and residents of Nairobi have been assured of their safety, with police confirming that normal day-to-day activities will continue. However, commuters should expect controlled access, with strict security screenings deployed around critical zones, including Parliament and Government Square.
Social media that people want to demonstrate tomorrow. We have never been notified. This is the correct position. I'm the Regional Police Commander Nairobi, and I'm telling you the correct position. We have not been notified. Consequently, violence, destruction of property, looting, attack on police stations are criminal acts. So all criminal elements will be dealt with firmly, decisively, and within the law. So we're here to ensure our business community, in Nairobi and the residents of Nairobi and the surroundings. And because I have the commanders with me here of all the neighboring counties, we are sure that adequate security measures have been put in place. There will be that control access, We will do accessibility will not be just like that, because there will be restricted areas, like Parliament, definitely will be restricted.
Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale risks a jail time for contempt of court for failing to gazette the council members of the Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitians Institute. The Health Cabinet Secretary was directed by Justice Rosalind Aburili to gazette members of the institute in a ruling issued on March 2026, that is. In the mention of a case filed by Oscar Kambona via virtual court proceedings at the Milimani High Court, Justice William Musyoka gave the Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale 7 days to file his responses, failure to which he risks sentencing on July 22nd, that is 2026. This comes barely a fortnight after the High Court issued a stern warning to the Cabinet Secretary for Health for non-compliance with court orders. Duale was facing a civil jail term over the disputed Ebola quarantine facility located at the Laikipia Air Base. He appeared before Justice Patricia Nyaundi seeking to have the contempt expunged and exonerate himself, stating that he had issued orders to contractors to stop the construction of the facility, pending the hearing and determination of the case. In the said case, Katiba Institute and the Law Society of Kenya, who are petitioners, urged the court to impose a higher sanction on the CS to avert future reoccurrence.
Milimani High Court, Justice William Musyoka gave the Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale 7 days to file his responses, failure to which he risks sentencing on July 22nd, the year 2026. This comes barely a fortnight after the High Court issued a stern warning to the Cabinet Secretary for Health for non-compliance with court orders. Duale was facing a civil jail term over the disputed Ebola quarantine facility located at the Laikipia Air Base. He appeared before Justice Patricia Nyaundi seeking to have the contempt expunged and exonerate himself, stating that he had issued orders to the contractors to stop the construction of the facility, pending the hearing and determination of the case. In the said case, Katiba Institute and the Law Society of Kenya, who are petitioners, urged the court to impose a higher sanction on the CS to avert future reoccurrence. Michael Mondiga for Good Morning Kenya.
Now back to Olkalau, where more than 20,000 households in Olkalau, Nyandarua County, are among the first beneficiaries of the government-backed Clean Energy Initiative. The initiative seeks to boost clean energy and forest conservation in the country. Petroleum Principal Secretary Kelo Harsama says prolonged reliance on firewood and other traditional cooking fuels continues to expose many households to respiratory illnesses.
Under the program, 20,000 liquefied petroleum gas cylinders will be distributed to households across 5 wards in Olkalau constituency in an initiative aimed at promoting clean energy, conserving forests and improving public health.
Forest yetu imekwisha, si ndio? Watu wanaenda kuni. Hata wengine wanaanza kuvunja fence ile ya kuni. Wanafanya kuni ile fence yako. Lakini sasa fence yetu sasa itabaki kwa sababu mtaendelea kutumia hizi.
To expand electricity connection in the expansive Nyandarua County, Energy Principal Secretary Alex Washira has announced that government has allocated 1.6 billion shillings for electricity connectivity in the region, with Olkalau constituency receiving 260 million shillings.
Ongoing, kuna zingine 5 tunaongeza to make it 36 projects za stima kufanya hapa.
The funding will also facilitate the implementation of 36 electricity projects, with approximately 2,600 households expected to be connected to the national grid by December 2026. Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Well, and that story by Regina Manyara brings us to the end of the news this morning. That is how brief we were. But thank you so much for starting your day with us here on Good Morning Kenya. Of course, Good Morning Kenya still continues. My colleague, that is Victor Law, is on standby to take you through the rest of Good Morning Kenya together with Vivian Degwa and Mike Migwi. From me, it's a good morning for now.
Je, wewe ni mpenzi wa Kiswahili, mwalimu, mwanafunzi, msanii au shabiki wa lugha yetu? Tarehe 7 Julai mwaka 2026, usikubali kubaki nyuma. Jiunge nasi katika siku kuu ya Kiswahili duniani, kusherekea uzuri, utajiri na urithi wa lugha yetu. Hafla hii inadhaminiwa na maktaba Mat Educational Publishers, Kenya High School wakishirikiana na KBC, wakiwemo washirika mbalimbali katika elimu na utamaduni. Tutakuwa na burudani, mijadala, mashindano na maonyesho, yote yakiakisi utajiri wa Kiswahili. Mnakaribishwa. Kiswahili ni fahari yetu. Tujumuike, tusherekee na tukiendeleze. Karibuni.
My name is Julius Diego, sixth African champion in the men's javelin, also the African record holder. My experience at the World Cup is, I think the African teams have really tried, even though we have 2 teams still remaining in the tournament. But I think that the other 8 teams really showed, high standard, high level. Like a team like Kefat, which plays so well, DRC. They played well, but I say maybe Morocco will be a team to watch again, like the last World Cup, and I think it will be the team that will take Africa maybe to the finals this year. Let's wait and see. We wish them all the very best, and I still believe that Morocco can, cause a surprise again in this tournament. Remember also to watch World Cup on KBC TV.
Fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Julius Lekekeni Sunkuli was born in 1961 in Poroko, Kilgoris West, in present-day Narok County. He began his education at Toroko Primary School before proceeding to Kilgoris Secondary School and later Cardinal Lutunge High School, completing his A-level studies in 1981. He then joined the University of Nairobi, graduating with a Bachelor of Law degree in 1985. In 1987, Sunkuli joined the judiciary as a district magistrate in Kericho, hoping to rise to the highest judicial office. But encouraged by Maasai elders to represent them politically, he resigned from the judiciary and entered elective politics. In 1992, at just 31 years old, he successfully contested the Kilgoris parliamentary seat. His rise in government was swift. In 1993, he was appointed Assistant Minister in the Office of the President in charge of Internal Security and Provincial Administration. By 1991, he had been elevated to cabinet, becoming one of the most influential figures in Moi's administration. Fluent in Kalenjin and known for his efficiency, Sunkuli built a close relationship with President Moi, earning a place in his inner circle. But his tenure was not without controversy. He was accused by critics of using state machinery to outmaneuver political rivals, particularly in his rivalry with William Olentimama. His supporters, however, credited him with championing development and strengthening government presence in Kilgoris. After serving 2 terms, he lost his parliamentary seat in 2002. In 2009, President Mwai Kibaki appointed him Kenya's ambassador to China, a role he held until 2013. That same year, he resigned to contest the Narok senatorial seat, facing off against his own younger brother Andrew Sunkuli, a contest that would divide their family and ultimately cost both of them victory. Sunkuli then retreated from active elective politics to his legal roots, earning a Master of Law degree in 2018. He returned to private legal practice at Sunkuli and Company Advocates, maintaining a low political profile until 2021, when he showed signs of a political comeback. In the August 2022 general election, Sunkuli contested and won the Kilgoris parliamentary seat under Kanu Party, marking his return to parliament after 2 decades. Upon resuming active legislative duties in the National Assembly, Sunkuli participates in parliamentary committees, contributes to legislative debates, and re-engages with constituency development in Kilgoris and the wider Narok region. Jackie Wambiru, The Cabinet.
Jackson Itirithia Kalweo was born in 1937 in Igembe, in present-day Meru County. He attended Maua Primary School between 1951 and 1956 before proceeding to Kathayene Intermediate School in 1957. He later joined Meru Teacher Training College, where he qualified as a P3 teacher and taught at several primary schools across Meru district. As a music and dance teacher, he was a distinguished choir master. At Antobochu Primary School, the last institution where he taught, his choir's experience attracted the attention of President Jomo Kenyatta, who routinely invited the children and their teacher to perform at State House and his Gatende home. Kalweo Mero thus became a frequent visitor to State House, interacting with senior political leaders. Encouraged by Kenyatta and emboldened by his growing public profile, he entered elective politics in 1969, contesting the Igembe parliamentary seat. He lost that election to Joseph Mutoria. In 1974, however, Kalweo defeated Mutoria and became Member of Parliament for Nyambani North. Assistant Minister for Culture and Social Services. He was serving his second term in Parliament, but his political fortunes were dimmed in 1984 when his name appeared in the controversial...
All right, welcome back. So let's get into discussion. Being the 7th day of July 2026, people and politics on this Tuesday, the Sabasaba Day, which is bringing a lot of confusion in the country. But yes, 36 years ago, that is on 7th of July 1990, the Kenyans way back then went to the streets looking and fighting for the repeal of Section 2A. There, they got it, and we are enjoying that point today. So that's on the front page of the local dailies. But before then, let me invite my guest in studio officially. I have got next to me, Omwami Wafula Mutacho, who is the Ford Kenya chairperson, Trans Nzoia County. He's also a man of many titles. Omwami, good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Next to him is Frank Nyamari Nchori.
Hi.
An advocate of the High Court. Karibu.
Asante.
He's also a political analyst, and Daktari Anthony Gitonga, who is also a political analyst. He's also salivating for Othaya seat. I have to say that.
No, absolutely, and it's sure bet.
And you didn't say that I'm also in support seat.
Thank you.
Is it type of...
Wait.
Now we are in the same table and there is some discrimination or what?
Go ahead.
You've said Othaya and you've forgotten support seat. And I'm going for support seat.
We are also thinking of Nyaribari.
Victor, what is wrong?
Oh, he's also thinking of Nyaribari.
I think you need to start the introductions again.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, rewind again at selector. That's what...
Otherwise, we will go to the street and start protesting about this.
Pull up and rewind again, selector. Wafula Mutacho, Ford Kenya chairperson, Trans Nzoia County. He is the chairperson. I call him Omwami. And he's also going for the...
support seat.
Okay.
Parliamentary seat.
Very good. Good morning.
Good morning.
And next to him is Frank Nyamari. He's an advocate of the High Court, political analyst, and you're also going for?
I'm not going for anything. Just
He's thinking about
Okay, and of course, Dr. Anthony Gitonga is an analyst. Othaya is waiting for him. Karibu Daktari.
Asante sana.
Asante sana. And next to him is...
I wish him well.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I wish you well as well.
Asante.
Thank you.
Shadrack Komboi is an advocate of the High Court, and he's also saying that Kajiado North...
thank you, Victor. You know, it's always good to reserve the best for last.
Oh.
Yes. Good morning to you and to my comrades here.
Karibu sana.
Yes, of course, I have this call, the call of duty by the people of Kajiado North constituency. Yes, in fact, as we speak, I am the current member of parliament of Kajiado North. It's only that we have someone who is enjoying the privileges of a member of parliament.
No.
But you see, I'm a very philanthropic person. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
There's only one seat.
Yes, it's me who is having it.
No.
It's only that someone else is enjoying the privileges. And of course, if you are charitable and if you're philanthropic...
Who elected you?
The people.
When?
The people.
When?
In the hearts of the people, they know that I am their member of parliament.
No, those are just assumptions, Victor. We should not take a lot of time on that.
Okay.
So maybe those are good prayers.
No, it's okay. I understand. He's a good man.
Even Raila was at one time, sworn in to be the people's president. Yes, of course.
But that is true, Victor. I mean, if you look at across our country, we have many likes of our killing that are acting, all right? Acting members of parliament or just people who are doing the job as opposed to those who are elected into those positions, all right? So that is not just his case because many parliamentarians who are elected into parliament either have forgotten their job or have lost favor with the people, and the people are now, resonating and going to other leaders. It's the same case in Kajiado North. It's the same case in Othaya. So it's
equally to Saboti.
Now we have converted you now.
It's the feeling across our country.
A very quick one, gentlemen. Let me take you through the front page. The Wakili, you'll take the Standard for me.
Yes.
And Dr. you'll take for me the Star.
Okay.
All right. Kindly. Let me start with the front page of the Daily Nation. Sabasaba test. On July 7th, 1990, the day opposition leaders and their supporters confronted the dictatorial KANU regime. Today marks the 36th anniversary of the historic Sabasaba protest that launched the unrelenting push for multi-party democracy, culminating in the toppling of the one-party state and restoration of popularism, pluralism. I got it right. Human rights activists have planned demonstrations to pressure authorities to address human rights violations, including abductions, extrajudicial killings, and growing political intolerance, which they say stifle civic freedom. But police have now outlawed the planned protest, claiming that they have not received any notification as per the law. How the parties conducted themselves will be crucial to averting violence witnessed during the last year's demos. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. Still, Sifuna's turning point, what does it say? That a meeting hosted by Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya endorsed Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna to vie for the presidency, following which leaders allied to Linda Mwananchi faction have vowed to fight for the registration of the movement or as a political party, or explore another outfit should the legal hurdle becoming unsurmountable, signaling parting ways with ODM. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. And finally, there is a campaign cash cups where the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission are now pushing to stop politicians buying seats. For the ward, 5.6 billion shillings cumulatively. Constituency, 5.2 billion shillings. County, 2.3 billion shillings. Presidential, 4.4 billion shillings, and that brings a total of 17.7 billion shillings to be spent during the next general election. Wamboy, what do you have on the front?
Thank you. The Standard is at the 7th day of July 2026. The headline is the prison heist, an inside job, a rogue payroll clerk used stolen credentials to authorize Kenya shillings 41 million in bogus transfer allowances for nearly 1,000 prison officers, triggering one of the most brazen payroll breaches in recent years. Warders of every rank, including senior commanders, woke up to unexpected deposits before investigators traced the scheme to an insider in the payroll department. 6 months later, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has finally opened a formal probe into a scandal that exposes deep rot in the State Department for Correctional Services. You can read more at page 5. Thank you.
Doctor, the Star?
Thank you, Victor. The Star is here with us this morning, and it's talking about food security. And it has a beautiful headline that is reading, Rice creates 280,000 jobs in route of food security campaign. Victor, I must say that I'm very conflicted reading this particular headline because we have a government that is known to hype its own figures, figures that have been challenged even by the Kenya Bureau of Statistics. For example, we see here that 770,000 acres are under irrigation, and it says that 70,000 to 100,000 direct and indirect beneficiaries of Bura irrigation scheme. And something that is also quite interesting, it says that we have 59% rise in Mwea's rice production in 3 years. I'm saying that I'm conflicted because we have seen the same government import rice into our country, and we have seen our poor farmers from where complaining, that we have a lot of infiltration of rice from outside the country that is coming to compete with our own rice. If surely we have this 59% rice in Mwea's production in the last 3 years, then why do we still have to import, and why do we still have to, why are we still rice farmers in Mwea complain? So that is the headline, but I think these are facts and figures that need to be scrutinized more so that we can get the accurate picture.
Okay. So let me come back to Frank. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
So let's talk about Politics Reloaded. Whatever is happening in the country can be seen. With the current temperature is now actually focusing on Olkalau. Daktari, you are an interested party in Olukalau,
yes,
right? An interested party, Amicus.
Yes, yes, you're
so
right.
The attention is in Olukalau right now. I'll come back to that one. But what do you make of the current political system? Because it seems that after the passing of the financial year, the finance bill of 2026-2027, it's all systems go right now.
Yeah, it's all systems go. Victor, first of all, when we ask the right questions, we will be able to get the right answers. But if we ask the wrong questions, it's more likely that even if we give the right answers, those right answers will be considered wrong. Because anything that you multiply by 0 will be 0. I will start by saying that, you see, for example, what is in the Star, it's talking about an increase in rice, but we are not being told how much the country requires. So whether the increase in rice in Mwea is noted, it does nothing to do with the president or the political temperatures around the area, because we do not know how much the country reserves. Going forward, to answer your question about the political temperatures, people are singing 1-term and 2-term. And I'm happy to hear that some of these panelists are going to vie. The question is, what is there on the table for the people? For example, my good friend Shadrach, what is there for the people of Kajiado North? What is there for the people of Othai? You know, what is there for the people of Saboti? That's the questions. Those are the real questions that we need to ask, so that we don't hype ourselves behind someone's coat and start singing 1-term, 2-term, yet we do not have an agenda. I'll be happy as a person to see what, for example, we are going to offer the people. We have seen, for example, what is happening in Yaribari Church. Our current member of parliament is dishing money left, right, and center and forgetting development. So those are the kind of issues that we need to look at as a people and come up with solutions, so that when we enter into the electioneering period or year or time, we are able to make correct decisions as far as politics and leadership is concerned.
Yes.
So we must, at this point, separate two things. One, we must separate politics, and two, we must be able to understand what is leadership. And leadership, in my own view, goes hand in hand with delivering services to the people. It has nothing to do with lip politics. It has nothing to do with hyping yourself and criticizing everything that comes on your way. It has everything to do with your vision. It has everything to do with your plan. It has everything to do with what you can deliver to the people. So as at now, I can see a lot of people singing 1-term, Ruto must go, and even during this Sabasaba protests, we are going to have a lot of that, because there are so many things, but we are forgetting one thing. What is this that we can positively criticize and say, this has happened, and we can appreciate the government for doing the same for the people?
Okay. Omami, the politics of ideology and promises, what does that really mean? Because this is the time that a lot of promises is going to be sold to Wanjiku. And it's going to come with, in turns, promises. But when it comes to implementation, so that's where the problem begins.
You know, Victor, when you join politics, people want to hear hope. People expect a lot of hope.
Correct.
In politics.
Correct.
If you don't give them hope, they will not vote for you. And this is what goes around. Most of the politicians who are elected gave a lot of hope to the people. But finally, few have implemented the promises. So it's a normal culture. It's a normal culture, Victor.
It's a normal culture to do what?
Yes, to give hope. And
then fail not to
most of them fail to deliver. We've seen it. Right from member of parliament, MCS, governors. The governors have played most of it worse. Yes. So we see that. They give hope. People elect them. Finally, they don't deliver. Now, you know, a president was in, I think it was in Mwea, is it Mwea? Embu, last weekend. And he just said clearly that before next general election, we'll go back and see with my promises what I've delivered and what I've not delivered. That is what we want to see. It is good. And also let us resonate back to even to governors. Governors promised most of voters a lot of changes in the county, but finally most of them have not delivered. Instead, they have just squandered money.
And you're saying it is normal?
It is just like a normal culture. It is just like a normal culture in a way. Because
that's what we need to run away from.
I don't know what we need to do. And last time, Victor, I was in this table, and I said that sometimes when we put the situation of political temperature in the country all throughout, the government failed to concentrate on the promises, most of it, and even governors also. And I remember one time President Uhuru said we should stop politics every time because we concentrate less on development. But I can see the president has tried enough to absorb politics and do some little promises that to fulfill the promises he gave. So it is also challengeful. Kenya is a worst country when we come to political cycle temperature. It runs throughout the circle.
Yes.
You see, like now, let's take an example of America. America, after the last general election, people went to work. No lot of politics around.
And then we have Kenya.
Now we have Kenya. Immediately after election, politics starts.
Okay.
A lot of push and pull goes around.
It's quite saddening because you're saying it's quite normal for politicians. And I have the three of you here. So which means you're copying, you've just taken the textbook.
No, we need to change this scenario. We need to change. We need to change and tell our people it is not time for politics now. It is time for development. We need to change.
That's a good question, Victor. But maybe before I come to that question, there's a challenge given by my very good friend here. That what is the agenda? What plan do you have for the people over there? What I want to say is that leaders should not come up with agenda. A responsible leader should be able to engage his or her own people and set the agenda together. All right, Victor, you know that I'm running for the parliamentary seat. 2027, and there's a lot of consultation happening. There's a lot of engagement happening because what you need to do is to go and listen to the people, all right? And that is why I'm in DCP party, because our slogan is to listen to the people, so that when you get into that position, you're able to work together and you're able to fulfill the desires, the aspirations that they so dearly need. And I can give you an example that just yesterday I had led a delegation of more than 300 grassroots leaders to Amunyoro, all right? And why are we doing this? Because it's an important conversation to have, all right? We are having 45 days of consultations happening, and His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, my party leader, is engaging many leaders so that when we form government in 2027, what we will be able to do is not to make those promises, but is to have a conversation with the people and see the priorities. Okay, you cannot be able to do everything at once, but it's the people who tell you this is the priority. It's about roads, and then it's about education.
Then you promise to deliver.
Of course, but now when you do it inclusively, it becomes a matter of prioritizing. You promise what people need to hear, and that is what you.
How is the 45-day conclave?
So far, so good. I was there yesterday. Yesterday was Odhaya's day. We were more than 300 of us.
You tell us
talking about Odhaya, talking about our politics, and that's the way to go. Leaders should not sit somewhere in a boardroom and present the agenda to the people. It's an engagement with the people. The people should tell you that our priority is healthcare. What we want are roads. Okay, I come from an area where tea, coffee, and milk is big. So they want to say, for example, we have.
We take a quick break.
We pay some bills?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be okay.
Okay.
Stay with us. The delegation will be right back.
All right.
towards you-know-who again. Could still find them. Dug out towards Oscar Bob on the near side. Chance to shuffle his way through. Here's Ødegaard. He's gone down. It's a free kick for Norway. 2 minutes to go. Yellow card. First of the game. It's Neymar.
Yeah, it's naughty by Neymar, and he's just left something on him. He's not just once or twice, and doesn't do his coach any favours. He's come on and had no impact in the game whatsoever. Norway, Ødegaard, he's been...
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
All right, okay, welcome back. So let's get back to the discussion. So I asked a question. You said you're in,
yes,
you led a delegation.
Yes.
You can just bottle that a little bit. You'll give us more info.
That's fine.
The 45-day conclave.
Yeah.
But Shadi, look at it this way. You are in a position right now to spur the relationship between you and Wanjiku, actually to grow it, by giving them the development that they need.
Yes.
You know, the cliche, the roads, the hospitals, the schools, etc., etc., etc. But where do we draw the line? Because now we are going to see politics reloaded. That's my topic of discussion today, politics reloaded. Tons and tons of promises are going to come. At what point are you going to sieve what you need to deliver and rhetoric?
Well, I think today being a Sabasaba, it's important that we also concentrate so much on why we are even commemorating on this day. In the year 1990, on the 7th day of July, people went to the streets, people died, people suffered quite a lot so that they would create or expand the political or democratic space that we currently enjoy. And the expansion of this democratic space was to ensure not only that we have these competitive elections, but more to it, that we have accountable leadership, that we have leaders that are responsible for what they tell the people, that we have a leadership that puts Wanjiku at the center of everything that they do. It is not for nothing that our national values and principles of governance require that one of the requirements when we are passing policies, we are passing laws, is the involvement of the people, the public participation of the people. So that, and this is why I agree with Daktari, that you see, it's not a matter of you being well-read, being well outspoken, being well-dressed, that you will go to the people and talk down at them. No, it is about engaging the people. It's about, establishing the need of a people. In Kajiado North constituency particularly, we have like 5 wards. In these 5 wards, each ward has its different need. The needs of the people of Ololua are so much about roads. Not that the people of Olkeri are not focused on roads, but if you were to look at development in terms of the road infrastructure that has been done in Ololua ward as opposed to now Olkeri ward, you will see that the people of Ololuwa have been neglected. There are people who have been taken for a ride and for granted for quite a long time. Now, if you are to establish the needs of the people in Ongatarongai and those in Kware, you will establish that these are, very urban areas, the population living in these areas is quite urban, so their needs are almost instantaneous. So that if you're to promise things, one, people want the traffic jam that is in Ongatarongai to be eased up. The people want schools. We have students from my constituency that school in Langata.
Yes.
So that these students or these parents or parents of these students rely so much on the goodwill from the public transport to have their students ferried to their school. Because we do not have like school buses, we do not have good infrastructure in terms of education. Currently, as we speak, we have so many students who are being chased away from school. We have Form 4s. We have Form 4s who have not reported to school the whole of this semester. And we have a representative in that area.
Yes.
So if you are to strictly speak, we are looking at a leadership that is so focused on the needs of the people so that you do not have to promise so much. What you need to do is just to have deliverables. Like what I have mentioned, I have studied the people and I have studied their needs and I have told them that, well, I know for far too long this sort of dishing of bursaries to people who are politically aligned, people who are well connected politically speaking. So that is a culture that should come to a stop.
Yeah.
We should just ensure that we make just education free and accessible to all. So that if you have qualified to be in school, there will not be that barrier that you need to pay school fees for you to be in a classroom. People need to be guaranteed that if I am a resident in Kajiado North constituency, I have a right to education as decreed under the constitution. If I just walk into a secondary school, I will not be frustrated by teachers there telling me to pay, I don't know, 5,000 shillings or 10,000 shillings for me to access education. And the converse will be that for me now to enjoy that access to education, I must go to the Member of Parliament's office, delude him with the 2 terms chance, or those chance of 2 term, so that he can give me that, that bursary.
Yeah.
So we just need to, we need to delink politics from education and the systems as they are.
Okay, I want to ask you this question because now we are headed there.
Yes.
The landscape, the Kenyan political landscape is always so predictable. We are going to have, Frank, let's talk about ethnicity, how it has played a key role, and how important is it, all right? And of course, there's that aspect of elite bargaining. You have got a political party here. Because you have got a political party, Wanjiku is going to buy to our ideologies. If you have got a strong political party with how many members of parliament supporting this and that, Wanjiku is going to believe. So let's talk about ethnicity, the importance of ethnicity in our politics, how it shapes our politics, or probably how it doesn't shape our politics.
Victor, Kenyans are one people. And this narrative of ethnicity that we are going to form, first of all, the candidate is going to look like he has votes from his community.
Yes.
You see, that is, I think, outdated at this time, because people are more focused on the character of a person, irrespective of where he comes from. Number 2, I like what this Linda Mwananchi group is doing, that they do not care who is a Luo, they don't care who is a Luya, they don't care who is who. They just care, are you able to deliver to the people?
Yes.
I think that is the direction that every other person will move. Now, they normally say that charity begins at home, and that's where the ethnicity card is played. That for you to be able to come out, first of all, you must be able to put your house in order, so that you come on the table with something for you to be able to be considered as a negotiating, factor. That is where it all begins, and that's a good thing to do. Because you must lead in your house for you to come out here and tell us that you want to lead us.
Yes.
That is true. But then, if we look at it from the angle of uniting the entire nation, then we have to shun away from the ethnic card so that we unite all Kenyans in terms of ideology.
But the ethnic card will be played because of numbers.
Numbers.
Mama will tell you that.
It will be played because of numbers, I agree. But then, going forward, that should not be the issue. Because I think Kenyans are more learned. I don't think Shadrack Wambui is looking for people of his ethnic group in Kajiado North for him to become the member of parliament. I think he should, in one way or another, he should tell the people what he needs, what he will do. And that is what he has said, that he needs to give the people of Kajiado North guarantee that any person who is there can be able to access free education. That has nothing to do with ethnicity.
The arithmetic of having the ethnic numbers is always a very big issue when it comes to that.
I would agree with you.
Have you noticed that there's a lot of focus in Western where Umami come from? Umami, true or false?
True.
Why?
It's a fact.
Why?
No, because of numbers.
Because of numbers.
Yeah.
And who are the people who have the numbers?
You know, Luyas,
the Mulembe Nation.
Yeah, the Mulembe Nation
Very
have
good.
the numbers right now. Actually, we are at par with the mountain. We are at par.
All you need to do is to work together.
We are at par with the mountain.
If you bring everything into one basket.
Which statistics are they using?
That's the question. That is the last
census is yet to be.
Last census. You didn't go through the last census?
No,
the last census showed very clearly we are at par with the mountain.
No, part of it was actually nullified by the High Court. My Lord Justice Lawrence Mugambi nullified.
Why was it nullified? Because it was interfered that now the new generation is coming up from Mulembe Nation, topping the list of numbers. That is why. Okay. That is why it was interfered and stopped by the.
You see, that's the perception now you're talking about.
Not quite. You see, the census, as it were, is very central, you know, in the coming up of the delimitation of boundaries and constituencies.
Yes.
So it's important. So some people living at the northern parts of this country, for some reason, they went to court, they challenged it, knowing too well that it will lead, if we relied on the results of that census, it will lead to the withdrawal or the denial of a constituency in their counties and an additional probably in another.
So as it speaks, that was a step court. I think you could go deeper in a political way. You know, you are talking in the way of.
So the problem with the politics, it has no reference. And people just speak from the top of their heads. The beauty about the
now you are coming to politics and you must understand this game.
Yes, but now I don't want to be like you people. The beauty about the law is that you speak with facts. If there is an issue about what you are speaking about, then you can always make reference to a certain document and say there was a judgment that was done. There is this document and that document.
And the fact
so it gives you even the power of arguments.
And the fact of the matter, Victor, is that the actual statistics do not rate Western at par with the mountain.
It is not true.
It is not true.
Yeah.
It's
but
not
what
a
they
fact.
need to do is
they're just being ambitious.
They came together. I think they would be able to bargain on their numbers. But also what I want to say,
they work together as
to be able to bargain.
There's so many sub-clans.
Okay, right? There's so many
sub-clans. It is a Mulembe Nation. When you go like the mountain right now, the way you are talking of the mountain. No, the mountain is not one.
Yesterday,
no, I am telling you, right now there is Kirinyaga people, there is Embo people in groups now, Meru people.
Yes.
They are not associating with the Muranga people, Kiambu people. Right now things are getting different. And after next general election, my friend will meet in the parliament. I'll show you how the voting was done. I'll tell you and I'll show you. And by that time, I hope Victor will be around. We'll come to the table.
Allow me to clarify.
Amen to that.
And you saw yesterday.
Don't you that focus? No, you will meet in parliament.
We will meet in parliament. And that is my good prayer to you, my friend. Yes. And just account it right.
Away from Western and the mountain, Abagusia are united apart from Osoro.
But you see, that is still part of the Western. And that is what I'm saying. If Western were able to work together, they would have a better political
in the case, I don't know about it, but let me talk about the people with the power of voting. That is the mountain and the Mulembe Nation. These are the people that we can sit down and negotiate how we can do. But so far, where we are comfortable. And what we are doing, we think right now we were in the government quarterly. We want to be after next general election, we want to be fully in the government. So
that's what I'm talking about, the ethnic card.
Yes,
because of the numbers.
Yes, because of the numbers. And I remember, Victor, there is a time when Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere said that in Tanzania, we don't go with the tribes. In Kenya, they go with the tribes and they stand with the tribal lines for them to
and that is what makes
anything.
us stupid. That is what Kambarage Nyerere actually said.
He said
to
that.
Contextualize, he said that we are stupid because we align ourselves because of our ethnic extractions.
And it is and we cannot do away with it right now so easily. It's very difficult, my friend. Just get it. It is very and I'll give an example. And I'll give an example. The way my friend has said that they are meeting in Wamunyoro's home.
Yeah.
It is not from across the country. It is from the mountain only.
Correct.
It's tribal.
Allow me.
It is tribal still.
Allow me to say that first, these two good learned friends should not intimidate this panel. It is not true that politics do not have a reference. I'm a political scientist. And I can tell you that politics is a game of numbers. And the reference for politics is numbers. And I will also tell you that politics are very local. All right? Before we can come to the national table, we start at the very local. Yeah. All right? People want to know at the very, very, very basic level, what are you going to do for us as a political leader? All right? The person in Wamunyoro is not so much concerned with what is going to happen and everything. Is about the road, is about the money in the pocket, is about the value of education in the school that their kids are going, all right? And that is why politics being very local, the discussions need to start very local. And that is why we are having the Wamunyoro consultations. For us, the mountain, before we can come to the national table, we want to know, all right, what is the value of our tea? What is the value of our coffee? What is the value of our milk?
And
what is
so
the value of our trade?
That's what I'm talking about, the ethnic and the elite bargaining. That's what I'm talking about.
Correct. But remember
because you
also,
have the numbers, you want to bargain based on the strengths.
Based on the strength, because
the numerical strength, that is.
Correct. And unless we have the numbers, we'll not be able to win what we want to win. So there are many ways to bring numbers together. But Kenya traditionally is through regions and tribes, fortunately or unfortunately. And I'll tell you, from a political side of things, there's nothing wrong with that, because there's politics and there's governance. Politics is the process of helping you form government, all right? And that way you need to do everything that is possible. If we are talking about the cousin movement right now, it's not tribalism. It's saying that if we combine these numbers, and these numbers will be able to form government. But when we form government, it becomes a governance process now. All right, we look at everyone, we look at every other place, and be able to work with the leaders that have also been elected from those regions to be able to serve those people. All right, so politics being a game of numbers, then it is incumbent upon any other politician to come up with a formula on how to achieve those.
So how then do you include the likes of, the Bajunis of this world who do not have numbers?
Correct. You now bring them on board.
No, the law is very clear. The law is very clear.
At the very local, they have their numbers at the very local. And I've said politics are very local. So at the local level, they'll be able to give us leaders. All right? If they're not fortunate enough, because of their numbers, to be part of that government formation process, then they're also included now in the governance process. The issues will be addressed.
Okay. So, Wakili, how important is this now? Because I'm asking the question about the Pokomos, the Bajunis of this world. We have got this, they're small tribes.
Victor, it has been said before, and I'm not the first one to say it, that democracy is stupid. And you see, the realization of why democracy is stupid is from some of the sentiments that we are getting here. That you see, in the matrix of things, we will never have a Pokomo becoming a president of the Republic of Kenya. I mean, that is what you're being told, but in other words. You're being told that for the Pokomos, they will have to wait until the Mulembes and the Mount Kenya have eaten everything, and then they will just send someone to come and probably just get something, the crabs from the feast that will have had between the Mulembes and the Mount Kenya.
Yes.
But the truth be told, that you see, we just need a leadership that is all inclusive. this matrix of tribes and this ethnic extraction and that, it's what is actually bedeviling Kenya.
Has it ever helped?
No, it has not been helping the Republic of Kenya. In fact, what is supposed to actually to be our strength, because our diversity should actually form what is our strength. Because from what the Mulembes will bring on the table, from what the Kisis will bring on the table, we should become stronger by bringing all of us together.
Yeah.
But now we use what should be our strength to be our weakness. We divide people on these lines. I am from this sect, I am from this sect. Some of us who have studied in national schools, I went to Maseno School. Maseno School is in Luo, Nyanza. I had the opportunity of studying with everybody within the Republic of Kenya. So from that socialization at my early age, I can tell you for a fact, I have friends drawn from every corner of this country. I do not look at my tribesmen or tribeswoman being a Kikuyu as my only source of strength. I have networks even in Northeastern, I have networks in Mombasa. I can as well decide.
Networks here.
Yes, I mean, there is nothing that prevents me. There is nothing that prevents me from contesting for the position of member of parliament in Kisumu West or Kisumu
Nothing
East.
stops you.
There is nothing that stops me.
Yes.
I have also deep roots in Nyamira. I can even go there to West Mugirango once Stephen Mogaka is done with his term in office after he serves 10 years because he's going to be re-elected. And then now he can give me the opportunity of going, because that is my family also.
Yeah.
So yes, so it's important. It's important that we don't look at this country from the strength of where we are coming from. Let us look at this country from a point where this is our country. We can be a candidate in any place, any region. We can offer ourselves as leaders from any, in Kajiado North. Kajiado North is a Maasai land. Is a Maasai land. All of us have just but come there because either we were economic refugees, we were education refugees, we are there because of the intermarriages between Kikuyus and the Maasais. So nobody has the courage to stand up and say that you are a local, this one is not a local. But all of us, because of the developments that we've brought, the investment that we have brought around that area, we can now claim a share of that region. I can proudly say that I am also a part of that Maasai community as a Kikuyu. And I take a lot of pride in that, knowing too well that even in the year 2027, I'm going to vote in a governor called Katole Metito. And Katole Metito is not a Kikuyu.
Okay.
He is a Maasai.
Did you know that in Tanzania we have got more than 120 tribes and sub-ethnic clans? 120.
Yeah, of
Kenya
course.
we are around 47, 48 thereabout.
Yes.
But you'll never hear them talk about this and that. It's all about Sisi Wana Tanzania. Ujamaa, which was brought about by Mzee Nyerere himself.
Kabarage.
But it has worked for them.
Yes.
There was a foundation for them to work on that. And when Tanzanians go to an election, they vote as Tanzanians. They don't vote as the Maasais of this clan, the Sukumas of the Tanzania and all that. But in Kenya, you said it is not easy to get. It's not easy to do away with.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
So which means it's something that is in our DNA politically.
I've contested before, and I got it practically. It's not that I'm going for the first time, no. I contested at the previous election, and I spent a lot of money to my other tribes, knowing very well that my tribe will vote for me. But after election, the people I assisted, I built, I actually did a lot for them. They didn't vote for me. They voted to their own, who did not help them anything. I even went ahead and blowing their people, but they did not vote for me. That is when I realized, my friend, the way my friend from Omnyoro said, politics is local. It's local, it's true. Now it is very difficult for us to run away from this fact. It will stay with us for a longer time, my friend. And that one you must know. Politics is local. Now, when I'm going back to election...
I have a feeling, Mwami, is that politicians have engineered it to remain the same, to remain so.
Yeah.
And so that when it comes to electoral cycle, there is one card that you pull.
Yeah.
That works for you.
Yeah.
For your survival.
For your survival.
You know, we can speak well, you can address people well, you can make people laugh. But during election, and that's why it is secret election voting, people whom you assisted might not vote for you.
Yeah. Victor,
might not vote for you.
But I think it's a wrong way of practicing things when you want to assist people so that they vote for you. Personally, I assist people not so that they can vote for me. I really don't even care who they will choose, but I will be a candidate so that, you know, as they are doing their mathematics, they will have me in mind. But I don't help them. I don't contribute in funerals, in churches, so that people can vote for me. No, that is the choice they will have to make secretly.
So let me allow me 1 minute. Okay. 1 minute, because I think we need to get it clear. First, I think we engage the people and we help them so that they can be able to know our capacity and to be able to also vote us in. Because I don't think Shadi here attends harambes and funerals across the country. All right? Why just Kajiado North?
No, I do. Right? I do. In Madare,
I haven't seen you in Odaya.
You have not invited me. Yeah, I cannot come there uninvited. You invite me, tell me come and assist us.
But I wanted to say, I think the 2010 Constitution might have been a missed opportunity. All right?
Yeah, correct.
Because the Constitution says that, for example, the presidential vote, that it's 50% plus one.
Yes.
Whoever gets 50% plus one becomes the president of the Republic of Kenya. But the Constitution does not give us a formula perhaps of how do you achieve this 50% plus one and where do you need to draw the votes. I think maybe in the future, and this would be the team to do it, would be to see how do we bring in a more inclusive formula so that even the Pokot and the Pokomos of this world have an opportunity to be president. And maybe there's something to borrow from the American way of voting, you know, the college system of voting. Perhaps in the future we'd want to see that maybe every tribe carries just one vote, you know, and that one vote, whether you are 100,000 or 2 or 3 million, that then would be able to say that everybody has an opportunity to be president. But remember, as it is right now, it is not the most handsome that is elected. It is not the most educated that is elected. It is the person with the numbers.
It's the person with the numbers.
Yeah.
But you know, when you go the same way, Victor, when he goes the same way, people, we fear that when we go that college way of voting, we fear that people with the muscles of money will buy the votes in a simpler manner.
But even now it's happening. I
no,
mean,
right now it's a bit difficult. Right now it's very difficult. You go direct to Mwananchi.
Correct.
How many million voters?
Correct.
It's very difficult for you to reach all of them.
Correct.
Now it is very difficult. But when we go to college voting, the way you have proposed, like America, then it will be very simple that with college voting, I'll need just 30 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Representative.
Yeah.
30 representative.
But that,
and you
then
work
everybody
out
has a chance.
your arithmetic with the cash, and then you get the votes.
All right.
It will be so easy. And that one will not be representing the common Mwananchi down there.
Okay. Omwami, it's 8 on the dot. We take a quick break. When we come back, we still have enough time to discuss this.
Good.
All right. Sawa, stay with us.
Je, wewe ni mpenzi wa Kiswahili, mwalimu, mwanafunzi, msanii au shabiki wa lugha yetu? Tarehe 7 Julai mwaka 2026, usikubali kubaki nyuma. Jiunge nasi katika sikukuu ya Kiswahili duniani, kusherekea uzuri, utajiri na urithi wa lugha yetu. Hafla hii inadhaminiwa na maktaba Mat Educational Publishers Kenya High School wakishirikiana na KBC, wakiwemo washirika mbalimbali katika elimu na utamaduni. Tutakuwa na burudani, mijadala, mashindano na maonyesho, yote yakiakisi utajiri wa Kiswahili. Mnakaribishwa. Kiswahili ni fahari yetu. Tujumuike, tusherekee na tukiendeleze. Karibuni.
Are you ready for the next big thing in tech? Well, we'll spotlight Kenya's brightest young minds, game-changing startups, and breakthrough technology that are shaping our future. From AI and robotics to sustainable futures, we bring you the stories behind the scenes. KBC Channel 1. Remember, tech starts here.
All right, welcome back. After that break, it's now 2 minutes past 8 a.m. Karibu sana. Now, let's continue. I have got Shadrack Wamboi, who is an advocate of the High Court, also eyeing Kajiado North constituency. Dr. Anthony Gitonga, also eyeing Othaya constituency, political analyst. And of course, Frank said that he's not eyeing for anything. He's a political analyst and a governance expert.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Ama bada anaangalia ground. But from the way he's smiling.
From akisema Nyaribari Chache, I'm suspecting something. No, we are lawyers. We are also trained to read signs.
So Mommy here from Western Region, Trans Nzoia, is saying that Saboti mtungoje kidogo hapo kwa kona. Okay, so I was with who?
Yes, with me.
Okay, sawa. So let's come back. I ask a question. So where does Wanjiku come in? Because if the political elite have got a way of pulling their tribal cards, they have numbers to fill the ballot box. So what role does Wanjiku have to play?
No, you know, Victor, our 2010 constitution is good. Our 2010 constitution is good. What my friend said that maybe the smaller tribe are not realized, maybe the top percent, because right now we go with a game of numbers. Maybe that is a section that was not included in the 2010 constitution. If it were there, maybe people could have proposed that let's go in rotational. In rotation, that could work in that 2010 election. But unfortunately, it's not there. So it's actually Mwananchi who votes for the presidency. Mwananchi. The way my friend proposed that maybe we go for college voting so that we can also include the lower communities also. Now that one, unfortunately, it's not in our constitution. So it is difficult again. Yeah, we got that chance of amending our constitution, but we left those small items out, and now it is very difficult, and nobody right now can call for constitution amendment. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult.
Frank, is there a point where Wanjiku can say that we want to stand for ourselves and make a decision that, you know, you are the Ogiek, you are the Pokomos, you are the, you know, the Bajunis, the Luos of this planet. We are going to speak one language and say, no, it's not going to be according to the tribal lines.
Yes, one thing I've always told Kenyans whenever I get a platform to speak to them is to read Article 1 of the Constitution for them, which says that power belongs to the people. And this power can be exercised directly or indirectly. It's unfortunate that in our case, it's exercised indirectly through elected representatives. But then Wanjiku has got a very powerful weapon in her hands to be able to select the very best that they want. So it does not bar anyone from contesting, but Wanjiku has the ultimate weapon to select and sieve.
And there is somebody who doesn't want Wanjiku to know that.
This one.
No,
the
Constitution gives Wanjiku an opportunity to elect.
So Victor, the Constitution is clear. It gives Wanjiku the ultimate opportunity to elect their representatives. But then ours, or rather these panelists or those who are going to vie, theirs is simple. Pump a lot of knowledge to Wanjiku, empower them so that you are liked not because of what you give, but because of what you are, your character. That is the ultimate thing that role that Wanjiku can play as far as elections is concerned. Other than that, we will end up with Sabasaba, we will end up with Gen Z protests, we will end up with all that. That's the only other way that Wanjiku can speak to the government, and the government listens. But as it is, let Wanjiku know that he or she has a powerful weapon in Article 1 of the Constitution of Kenya, which empowers them to select the very best. I'll be glad, I'll be happy, I'll be enthusiastic to see these panelists go into the people and they are selected. The goal, or rather the end game, is that they should be able to deliver so that Wanjiku doesn't regret. In most cases, since 2022, Wanjiku has been regretting. That is why we have had a series of protests over anything and everything. So let us empower Wanjiku so that this constitution can speak life to us and bring us all together, irrespective of where you come from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But Victor, most of the...
I think you're being unfair. You're being unfair. I think he's taking so much time.
I'm just responding to one thing.
You balance the skills.
Yeah. Wanjiku, the protest of Wanjiku, mostly it's not directly from Wanjiku. It is ignited by people with certain interest. Even like today protest maybe of Sabasaba. How many Sabasaba has gone down the line without any protest? So many. But now this one is being engineered by some people who want to see maybe the government of the day is not performing. You can see. This is the reason.
That's an allegation. That's political. That's a political allegation.
Not political allegation.
It's a speculation, actually.
You know, I'm an investigator by profession.
Give us evidence. So I think Victor, just to add on what my learned colleague has, the remarks that he's just made. It's important that we have an informed people, an informed population, because they keep repeating their mistakes, largely because they live in the dark. They do not really understand the roles and the responsibilities of a member of parliament. They do not understand the roles and responsibilities of their MCAs, their governors, and their president. I mean, it is little wonder that you will see someone who has offended the people by way of passing legislations or laws that are retrogressive. They are meant to take away from the people. Going back to the same people, deluding them with the one-term and the two-term chance, so that they forget.
Yeah.
They don't even realize that over and above, the talk, this talk about the construction of roads, the constructions of classrooms, this person who is a legislator has passed a law that makes it very impossible for you to drive on that road. Yes. Makes it very impossible for you to even send your child to school because of the consequences of creating a law that has led to the increase in the cost of living and all those things. So it is important, and this is what I have been doing personally, because I want a people that long after I have been elected, served, and I have gone home, people who will come and if my colleague here presents himself as a candidate in my constituency in the future when I'm not there, when I have retired, then my people in Kajiado North, in Kware, in Gaimurunya will be asking him, we had Shadrach Wamboi, and Shadrach Wamboi will sit us down as I always do. I take a whiteboard and a pen. I educate them on the laws that are being passed and the consequences of those laws. So that when your member of parliament and when your MCA comes around, with unga, with those 50 shillings, mine is very poor, it just gives people 50 shillings. So when he gives these people these 50 shillings, then what you do is you ask these stubborn questions. Well, it's good, bring us the money, because you've stolen from our NGCDF, there is no problem. But again, there is this law that you passed that has led to the imposition of land rates on freehold land. There is this law that you passed that has led to the increment of the rates or the charges that we were paying on allotted land. So from that discussion, then the people will now want to hear what this member of parliament will be saying. And you see, the beauty about the record in parliament is that it is there. We have the Hansards. So if you said yes, you said yes. And I've been telling them that sometimes we can be very angry about our members of parliament. But the truth be told, most of them are just in the choir of saying aye and nay. They don't even the contents of the bill that they pass into law.
So how informed is Wanjiku as we head to the election? How is informed is Wanjiku? This to all of you.
But learning is a continuous process, Victor. Even now we are learning. We are learning from each other.
Yes.
The public is also learning from what we are saying. So we cannot say that we have schooled enough not to absorb further material. No. What I'm going to tell the people is to encourage them to always be on the lookout. The politician is a very unique animal. He is in the habit of mutating, like a chameleon. You are in this regime, but that is the truth. I have taken time to study these people so that I understand them. And sometimes I don't fault them for anything. They must survive because they have nothing else to do for a living.
Okay. Dr. How informed is Wanjiku?
I think
this is not the Wanjiku in 2010,
correct.
In 2015.
Yeah.
Correct.
We are in 2026.
Yes. This is a more informed Wanjiku. Yes. All right. You cannot compare, just like you've said, you cannot compare Wanjiku and the 2027 electorate in particular to 2022, 2017. Remember, Wanjiku now has access to technology. Wanjiku now is able to read.
Very good.
Wanjiku now
they can ask those hard questions to the representatives.
Correct. And they know the roles of each political leader that they're going to elect, all right? So I think that empowerment is, and with the Gen Zs coming on board, is actually going to help. Because Gen Zs are aware now that if I'm going to elect you as a member of parliament, I want you to support me in legislating laws that are going to support and favor my trade or agriculture or help me get an opportunity, all right? If you're going to be there to oversight government, please do not allow government to do things that are going to harm what we do. And that is why you see today Gen Zs, when it comes to the finance bill every other year, they're up in arms because they feel that the taxation has become so punitive that it's affecting even their future. All right? The deductions has become too much that even when they get into employment, they don't seem like they're going to get enough or meaningful take home, all right, in terms of income. So we have a more empowered and a more informed Wanjiku or electorate this time, and that is going to change even how our politics are going to happen in 2027. For the first time, it's not about the PR, it's not about the small things that politicians come and do to lie to the people in terms of maybe, and we have seen, for example, it's quite notorious in central Kenya, where I bring cakes to you and you call me Wama Keki and you send me to parliament. I come and give you iron sheets, you call me Wama Bati. You send me to parliament and you do not know my capacity. So what we see now is that for the first time in our elections, the Gen Zs and even the electorate are going to be very critical on what is your competency, what is your passion, what is your skill, what is your attitude, what is your knowledge to be able to serve, so that you can't be compromised, because it's about competency, all right? If you do not know how to debate, if you do not know how to legislate, if you can't be able to read, if you can't be able to speak right to the public, then you cannot represent me effectively, all right? And they're going to be very critical on that. So it's not just a matter of what you have seen in the past. I come and give you tanks, and I'm not competent enough to be a member of parliament. You send me to parliament. All of us then get stuck. It's about, for the first time, this time, and we believe that that is what is going to happen. It's going to be about competency.
It's about competence.
Yeah.
Frank, when you walk around the streets, something notable actually happened during 2024 Gen Z Maandamano. A majority of people who are on the streets had the copy of the Constitution.
Yes.
And when you ask them, some of them were law students.
Yes.
All right? Some of them were law students, either in 4th year, 5th year, or KSL.
Actually, my students. I was with my students in the streets.
You see?
Yes.
So you are dealing with an informed
generation. I teach at Catholic University. I was with my students. We rallied ourselves. We went, the 300 of us. We were here in Parliament.
So you are the people ate the tea without,
the rice
without salt.
We actually met that the tea and the salt were finished.
Are you telling us that they are cooking rice without salt in Parliament?
No, it's not the question.
Victor, I was in Kisii Locals yesterday.
Okay.
I was in Kisii Locals yesterday. And Kisii town is part of Nyaribarichacha constituency. And I also got an opportunity to go home where I come from. And I like the conversations that people are having there. Because all of a sudden they actually know or understand that a certain road is supposed to be constructed by the national government. So they are
another one supposed to be constructed by
the MCA or the governor.
Yes.
So they are aware that this road is supposed to be constructed by this person, and
so
they're
when
holding
it comes to asking questions, they don't ask MCA about national government issues.
They know.
So that's the generation we're dealing with today.
That's now the kind of people that we are going to, these guys are going to face to sell their ideas to. So I can tell you for a fact that people are more informed than before, and they are seeking this knowledge from everywhere, so that they understand the role of the MP, the role of the MCA, the role of the governor, the kind of duties, the kind of things that the governor is supposed to be doing within, how he or she is going to get funds from the national government, how he or she is going to return money to the national government. I like those conversations. But those conversations only tell me one thing, that we are not what we were yesterday. We are a people that have got a vision. We are a people that now understand our roles as a people. We are a people that now, we will not just wake up and elect anyone because he looks beautiful or he has brought us tanks or mabati and all that. We are now, those guys are now looking for a person who can actually deliver service to them. They are not looking for a person with money, a black car. They're not looking for that kind of a person with a big stomach. They're looking for a person.
Let's go to the document and read. This is it.
Yeah. Yes. Are you able to do what this document is telling you to do?
Are you fit for purpose? Are you fit for the job?
That's the question. And this is the kind of a conversation that I'm inviting any person who is going to vie, any person who is going to go for an elective position to look at.
Question: do you think Shadi, Omwami, and Daktari are comfortable with that truth?
Well, I have not. That's why I began by asking.
Do you think they are comfortable with that truth, that they're dealing with an informed lot?
No, we know that. And,
no. I asked him. Do you think the three are comfortable with that?
I think what I can say about these three is that they just need to accept the reality the way it is and realign themselves.
So the three is a representation of all the aspirants across the country.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Even if they're sitting.
There is one who is acting.
The acting one. Yes, they are informed.
Omwami, you know very well that there is, the truth of the matter is, if you're going to run for Saboti Member of Parliament seat, the age gap between you and that person who is going to vote for the first time, there's a very big gap.
Yes.
And you know who you are going to deal with, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Do you feel challenged?
You know, the way you've said, and my friend has put it very clearly, that the voters of nowadays are well informed about what the Member of Parliament should do, what the MCAs must do, what the governor should do, and what the national government should do. They are well informed.
Yeah.
And last week, my mom called me and said, for the first time since independence, this road of ours, the contractor is on site and we are going to have tarmac. Now I'm not going to use a motorbike again. I think now I can use my broken vehicle to go around, because he was fearing about that road. You know, every time he uses that road, it's a Maram road, the vehicle, its car broke down. So for the first time, he has realized that the national government has done this for her. Now they are well informed. And in most of occasions, they'll just call you and say that I want to video call you. And this is my mom with more than 70 years.
How old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
My age, I stopped celebrating at 40. So I don't know my age right now. Are you still celebrating your birthday?
Me, I'm still a youth, mister.
He's not yet 40.
I'm still children.
So I'm still celebrating my birthday, so I don't know when I am, how old I am, but of course I'm still within that bracket.
Okay.
So nowadays, Victor, mothers of today voters of today, they know they are right. And I took a clip in Tanzania where they said that Kenyans, even a small kid, know the law. The Tanzania, they don't know completely. They don't know the law. They don't know they are right. But in Kenya, and I want to thank up the Kenyans on how we've managed to bring up this law to the lowest people. People know they are right. People know what they should talk about.
Yeah.
Kenyans, we are more advanced. We cannot talk, you know, in Kenya, people, any stupid fellow in the street can stand up and start accusing the president, and he walks free. Try that in Uganda. My friend, even talking of president's name in Uganda.
Museveni.
Yes, just like that, you'll be up for it. Even in Tanzania right now. So you cannot compare this, even in Rwanda. You can't. Kenya, we much far away from that colonial leadership.
Shadi, yes. Omami has spoken very well, and you know he's the eldest amongst us here.
Yes.
When you listen to him speak, and when you listen, it has just reminded me of something that probably way back before we also became of age, he already saw it. And he's speaking from a point of the kind of milestones that we have made as a nation up to where we are today, the kind of progress and the democracy we are enjoying today is something that somebody fought for. As we wind up, the Sabasaba Day, what does it really mind you? Because in 1990, 36 years ago, you are somewhere and you saw this happen.
Yeah.
What does it remind you this day that as a young Kenyan who is aspiring to take the leadership position, what does this really fight for you? Does it really give you, the likes of James Orengo fought for it, the likes of Achingo Neko are there, the Kubais of this world, call them. They did their part. So what are you going to do? What role are you going to do? What are you called to do? What are you calling yourself to do? To serve me as Wajiko?
Well, Victor, perhaps just for the benefit of the viewers and the listeners, I was not there 36 years ago. I was not there. I have, of course, as a student of history, I've had the advantage of reading, going back and reflecting on what really transpired over the years, as it is even now. I've tried to understand and to come to terms with what really agitated the very people of Kenya to go to the streets. Of course, is an appreciation that we had our democratic space quite squeezed. We did not enjoy the wide democratic space that we currently enjoy, the multi-party. Now we have DCP, we have UDA, we have a lot of political parties. Some of them are even briefcase political parties. We have the Inject party that the owner has decided to shelve so that he can use the Jubilee party as his vehicle towards realizing his vision. No, it's important that we mention these things.
It's true.
Well, after all is said and done, I think what is important is the appreciation that a lot of sacrifice has been made to ensure that we enjoy what we currently enjoy. Some of us might not even be taking seriously this multipartism that we currently enjoy. We might not think very deeply about it. And the more reason, I have been going around telling people that after we fought for this multipartism, we did not just fight for competitive elections. We fought to ensure that we have political accountability, that the voice of every common man is heard. And for us to ensure political accountability, we must ensure that we teach and inform the people. Because of the multipartism that we enjoy, what our leaders have been doing is hopping from one party to the next. We have a lot of people currently laying their allegiance to the DCP party, while at the very same time they are elected under the UDA party. What has been called as political prostitution before by my former director at the Kenya School of Law, Professor PLO Lumumba. So if we are to, of course, strictly speaking, identify and inform the people about the dangers of this political prostitution, then we will encourage political accountability. Because you cannot be saying that you are not for UDA and you are currently drawing a salary because you are elected under the UDA party. So it is important that even as we speak about multipartism, we encourage political accountability. That accountability is what now some of our leaders are, you know, because we also have a public that is not properly informed. We've been having some leaders coming to political platforms or, you know, social gatherings and of course pointing fingers at others without necessarily telling us what their contribution to our problems are. So as I close, permit me to say that it is important that this day is not just any other day. It is a day when we get to commemorate. Let us understand that over and above the fight for this political space, what else? Because that is the question. Because if fighting for political multipartyism was the end goal, then we have nothing to commemorate because we already have it. But if we are to think beyond the multipartyism, then it means that we have a chance, recognizing that democracy is not instant coffee. We have a chance to grow our democracy. We have a chance to, you know, to elevate our lives even further. To also to compare ourselves in future with the likes of, you know, the USA. Of course, we cannot compare ourselves now to South Africa because of what they are doing to our people.
200. Yeah, of course. Terry, in 1 minute, is there hope? You said that we. Hope is
there's
key.
A lot of hope.
Exactly.
There's a lot of hope. I want to agree with Wakili here that Sabasaba that we're commemorating today is important and we should not forget its gains because it's an affirmation of, again, Article 1 of our Constitution that power belongs to the people. And therefore, I remember that the first time that Sabasaba happened, 7th July 1990, it took less than 2 years, you know, to push the government to really continue, you know, agitating for multi-party democracy. And within less than 2 years, Section 2 had been repealed. Therefore, I think there is hope that can be sold to the Kenyan people that do not get tired, do not give up. If you believe there's change that can come from, you know, just pushing the government and really talking about our rights, Sabasaba is a good example that if we continue pushing for better governance, if we continue pushing, you know, for reasonable taxation, if we continue protesting against a system that is that is not very keen on its children, then these things at the end they will happen the way we desire.
Thank you. Very good. Sabasaba, Wakili?
Yes, Victor, former President of the United States of America and the son of the soil, Barack Obama, once said that history is there to remind us where we have come from and also lay the foundations of our future. Sabasaba has already reminded us where we have come from, and I think in my own opinion that it is the conversation of the new constitution of Kenya started long those days when Sabasaba was happening. Going forward, we are asking ourselves then what should we be doing with this freedom that we so have and enjoy today. It's not about forming so many parties. The constitution allows us to form those parties, but it's just not profitable anymore to form those parties without coming up with the leaders who are accountable. Remember those days, as history will put it, the masses were calling for the government to be accountable and responsible. So it was not only calling for the government to open the door for more people to form their parties, it was opening the door for the government to be accountable to its objectives, very, very responsible to its duties, and that is the way I think going forward this conversation of Sabasaba should end. That we push for proper taxes, we push for good representation, we push for proper governance, we push for anything that can see an elevation of mwananchi from the lowest to a middle class and all of a sudden to a life that is meaningful to them.
Thank you. Umami, kama mzee tumalizie in 20 seconds. Wisdom is there.
Sabasaba reminds us a lot because and that's why we have this freedom that we are enjoying today. It is just because of those people who stood up and forced the government of the day. During that time, it was Moi's government to repeal Section 2A, which gave us a lot of freedom, a lot of expression, and so many things. And that's why equality is part of it. So Sabasaba, to me, we should not misuse it. We should be celebrating Sabasaba in a style, by the way, but not to people to fuel it so that to express their anger against the government of the day. No, we should be celebrating. Like now, people were prepared to destroy the Sabasaba celebration. People are armed to the tail to ensure that
nobody's armed.
Nobody's armed. People need to celebrate Sabasaba.
Yes. Okay.
And because it has brought us somewhere.
Okay.
It's very important, and it has given us opportunity to judge leaders.
Thank you.
To judge leaders positively.
Maybe we are armed with our constitution.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
In our minds.
And that is where the Sabasaba began.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm reminded that we need to wind up there. The director has been so courteous to us, giving us more time, 30 minutes, because she said the discussion was good. Thank you. Yours will be out by 8. It's 8:30.
Thank you so much.
Gentlemen.
Thank you for tea.
Thank you. We have a discussion over a cup of tea. Thank you so much for
very kind.
My name is Victor Lowe Wafula Mutacho, for the Kenya chairperson. Trans Nzoia County said that he's going for Saboti constituency. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And
we are going to change most of the people, right from the governor.
Okay.
And so many people. And be aware. Next time you call me, you'll see that we have a new governor in Trans Nzoia. And we might surprise you to have a lady governor in Trans Nzoia.
Shada Komboyi is an advocate of the High Court. Kajiado North, looking for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I'm the acting member of parliament. Huko tumewambia watembe. Oh, you have said
you're so naughty. Daktari Gitonga,
walking away from the leadership.
Odhaya, MP in waiting. He's here. Ajapotea, he's around here. All right. And asante sana Franco Nshari. He said he doesn't want any political seat. Blakini. Time will tell.
When you talk of Nyaripa recharge.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Good morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Giselle Fernandez, Ambassador of Mexico to Kenya. Thank you, KBC, for bringing the game of the FIFA World Cup closer to us. Mexico has been thrilled of welcoming, of showing our culture, of receiving everyone with open arms in this tournament. We are also grateful for our Kenyan fans that have followed this match and that have been able to experience from their own seats the joy of this tournament. Finally, for Mexico, this is a historical moment. It has been the third time that my country has hosted a World Cup. So we wish all the teams that have played this tournament a really exciting one. So this will be a really nice experience for all of you to remember. Thank you for watching.
Tunapoasha vifaa vyetu, tunapata fursa ya kutangamana na wasikilizaji wetu.
Karibu sana thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya Rwiga.
Tunapeperusha utangazaji uliobobea katika habari,
nĩ ũndũ wa macio na mangĩ maingĩ,
burudani,
nĩ harĩa tũkoragwo tũkĩigua nyĩmbo mwaki nyĩmbo hoda
na hamasisho la kiroho. Usiachwe nyuma. Jiunge nasi kwa safari ya kufana katika 99.5 FM. Soro FM.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migunao. Today is World Kiswahili Day, a day that is celebrated every 7th of July and was designated by UNESCO. So we just want to take a look at how people are celebrating Kiswahili and how its growing influence is faring on across the world, not only on the African continent, because Kiswahili enjoys over 200 million speakers across the continent. It's spoken in 14 countries within African continent, and it's being taught in other places like the United States in highest institutions of higher learning. So we want to take a look at how Kiswahili creators are creating awareness and also leveraging the social media, digital platforms to ensure that they educate the people regarding Kiswahili. And for that conversation, I am joined via Zoom by Mercy Kihugi. Mercy is an educator, a mentor, and a literacy advocate. Mercy, welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. I'm glad to be here.
Karibu sana, karibu sana. I know we are talking about matters of Kiswahili, but allow me to steer this conversation in English. Today is the World Kiswahili Day, the 7th of July. From where you stand, why do you think this day is important?
Awesome. So the 7th of July, the World Kiswahili Day, is basically a reminder of our culture and reminding us not to forget our roots. It's a very important day to try and take people back to where we came from, enjoy just the language itself, the sweetness of the language. Also a powerful reminder of our evolving culture in different ways, not just maybe in schools where sometimes we use Swahili, but also encourage parents, teachers, people in the market who use Swahili from day to day to embrace the beautiful language, to also amplify this global language. That's what I think the World Kiswahili Day is all about, or is meant to do. Mm-hmm. And it's also supposed to help us, try and access Swahili globally, even preach it to the people who are outside our country, to also show just pride of our language and of our heritage.
When you look at when you look at the theme of today's celebration, it's Kiswahili. Put in Swahili is Kiswahili kwa amani, mshikamano na diplomasia ya kiuchumi wa kimataifa. In English is Kiswahili for peace, solidarity, and global economic diplomacy. How does the language, Kiswahili language, fit within that aspect?
Sure. So the Kiswahili language is basically used, especially in East Africa. You will find that for trade, for business, most of the times the language they speak is Swahili. If we have foreigners who are coming to our country, I think the quickest hack or the quickest thing they are told to do is learn a word in Swahili or two, so that when you go to the market, when you say that word, people already resonate with you and they can relate to you. So I think that is one of the ideas about using Swahili as a global language for trade. In terms of peace, it's just I think most of the people use the Hakuna Matata. I think that is the very common phrase that every other person who is visiting Kenya is taught to basically mean, I mean peace. I do not mean any problems or chaos. And that is what I see the World Kiswahili Day trying to amplify even to the outside world.
Yeah, that is very important. When you look at the way people are contributing to Kiswahili, and from your perspective, what do you think so far Kiswahili is growing in terms of influence? Now that we have over 200 million speakers of Swahili, and also it's being taught in other parts of the world, what do you think is contributing to this growing influence of this language?
I believe people are growing, people are becoming, travelers, people are exploring different parts of the
seem to have lost a little bit of connection there. Mercy, if you can hear me. Okay, we seem to have lost a little bit of a connection there, but we'll fixing that. But just more importantly, just to point something out about Kiswahili, Ethnologue, which is an online platform that provides information on world languages, has categorized Kiswahili as a very important institutional language, meaning that it is contributing to nation building, and also being that it has brought about a concept of language vitality, something that is not always seen, especially when it comes to indigenous languages, and Kiswahili being one of the languages, official languages at yes. Mercy, if you can hear me.
Yes, sure, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying, Ethnologue, which is an online platform, has that talks about, gives information on world languages, has classified Kiswahili as an institutional language. What does this reveal about the concept of language vitality, especially when you look at Kiswahili as an indigenous African language?
Sure. So Kiswahili has evolved over time, and it has truly been borrowed from our culture and our heritage. So as they continue to empower people, I believe that it's more of trying to relate our roots and seeing where this language has come from. Also trying to embrace this different, origin of the Swahili language. And I believe, even as you're saying, as we evolve, there is also a number of people who are also trying to almost like forget or not look like Kiswahili would be the way moving forward. So all these initiatives have been put in place to make sure that we are not forgetting our roots, that we are embracing our culture.
Very important. And the advent of social media, because unajua, we are living in the world of social media today. Everything is happening online, and we've seen people take, almost even learning is happening online. We've seen online happen there. The advent of social media has given rise to Kiswahili creators, and you being one of them, you're teaching the language online. The fact that we have online Kiswahili creators, what do you make of that in the first place?
I think it's a very positive thing, because it means people are embracing the language day by day. People want to amplify the Kiswahili language. And I love that people have embraced the digital space, which was probably supposed to be an enemy or even used for different things, but people have found better ways to use the digital space. So the fact that people feel like they can amplify the Kiswahili language via these different digital platforms, I believe it's a positive direction that we are headed in. And I also believe that our culture is protected, our heritage is in good hands, and that we are moving in the right direction. So I'm really proud seeing creators coming up and also embracing the Kiswahili language.
Does the Kiswahili language, from where you stand, present opportunities, especially for young creators? Is it something that they can pursue and see it as a career?
Oh, yes, for sure. And some of these ways that Kiswahili can present opportunities for people, one is, of course, by teaching it. So if you can speak it, you can teach it. So one, you can become a Swahili teacher. Another thing you can do is also becoming a tutor. So like we said, there's a rise of people who want to learn the Swahili language globally. So they are all over, people who are traveling, they want to know the language. So that's also another avenue where you can just teach Swahili. You can teach it online. So you do not necessarily have to be a teacher for you to teach Swahili. Most of this Swahili that people want to learn is also very conversational. So it's not really, you have to have gone to school and studied to become a teacher. As long as you know the language, you can teach it. Like I said, you can also become an author. So you can also write books for kids. You can what is this called? When you create songs through different platforms, it could be social media. You could also be going to sing to kids in school as form of an entertainment. I have seen people do that. So these are the different things or opportunities that Swahili as a language has created for people and continues to create.
Na kuna huu mchipuko wa lugha ya mtaa almaarufu Sheng. What do you think? Has it contributed to the detriment of Kiswahili language or it's enriching it? Where do we stand on that?
Yeah. So I think it has its pros and cons. I believe maybe now the cons would be people now trying to spoil, for lack of a better word, the Swahili language the way it's supposed to be. Unajua ile lugha ya Kiswahili, lugha mufti ama Kiswahili sanifu. But also the pro of it would be it has lightened the Swahili so that people now feel warmer. They are warming up towards Swahili. And the easiest way to initiate someone towards the Swahili language without using the complex Swahili sanifu is the Sheng. So it's also a way of welcoming people into the Swahili language. So yes, that's where I stand.
Do you think it's affecting, do you think using Kiswahili sanifu versus Sheng in a way deters the creativity, especially for those people who are working online within the digital space, trying to create content in Swahili? Is it in a way hindering creativity?
Well, I wouldn't say it hinders creativity, especially maybe for people who are in the digital space or the people who are trying to create content using Swahili. I would say it makes it more fun to try and explore, because even when you look at the Swahili Sheng, most of the words zimetoholewa from the Kiswahili. So they have tried to make Swahili sound cooler. The only challenge would be for the users, especially within the classroom setup. And that is because there are a lot of regulations in the classroom, right? So there are things that a child might use maybe in the classroom setup that might cost them or that might have consequences, either in their performance or even how they speak to their peers. So those are some of the challenges I would say the Sheng language has posed to the Swahili users. So mostly maybe classroom-based for teachers or educators, and also now the language. So for the Sheng, we know the language is a bit not coded, or so it's not really something that you can regulate, as opposed to Swahili sanifu pale ambapo tuna lugha ambayo inatumika kuficha mambo mengine, so you can't truly say the word, yeah. But for Sheng, unapata that the language is very just open and not protecting the users. So that's the gap I would identify. But when we look at the pros, you could also see it as a fun way of speaking Swahili, because I believe sometimes when we are learning as well, for instance, sometimes I teach foreigners, and when I teach Swahili. The greeting for Swahili is habari yako. That's how you should say hi, or hujambo. That's the Swahili sanifu of greeting someone. But you find that mostly in the streets or just outside around people, most people will say mambo, sasa. So you see, they're unable to now relate to that. When I teach them habari yako, they will still come back and say, I went and said habari yako, and people looked at me like, why are you greeting me habari yako at this point instead of sasa or niaje, you know? So I think it has its pros and it has its cons. Yeah. So there's also a positive way to look at it.
Yeah, I think one of the most common greetings, the ones used is niaje. That's the most common one. Then nataka kuuliza swali niliuliza wageni nilikuwa na jana hapa, tulikuwa tunaongea kwa Kiswahili, mada ya Kiswahili kuhusiana na hii siku, umuhimu wa kuongea lugha sanifu ya Kiswahili. Kuna umuhimu gani wa kuongea hiyo lugha sanifu?
Umuhimu wa kuzungumza lugha sanifu ya Kiswahili sana sana ni kuonyeshana kuwa umeshajua lugha yako na kukua tu na hiyo yani hiyo unajivunia lugha yako pale ambapo unapozungumza lugha ya Kiswahili. Alafu pia unaonyesha mtiririko wa mawazo. Ukizungumza lugha yako ya Kiswahili inaonyeshana kuwa unaweza kunakuwa na huo mtiririko wa mawazo. Naam, lakini sasa vile ambavyo tunavyoendelea, sijui kama kuna mahali ambapo itakuwa lazima kila mtu azungumze lugha sanifu, ama itakuwa tutaanza kuchanganya ndimi hapa kule, ili pia kuonyeshana kuwa tunakumbatia ama tunakaribisha lugha zote.
Na pia kuna swali lingine hapa. Unajua kwa kawaida ikifika ni masomo, jukumu la kufundisha limeachiwa walimu, lakini kuna jukumu ambalo wazazi wako nalo katika kuendeleza Kiswahili, ikifikia kwamba ni lazima wahamasishe watoto wasome vitabu vya Kiswahili ili kuwawezesha kukua wanaongea Kiswahili sanifu.
Naam kabisa, kwa sababu Kiswahili lazima lugha ianze pale nyumbani, pale ambapo wanazungumza na wazazi wao. Wazazi hakika kwanza ndio wanapaswa kukua kwenye mstari wa mbele kuhamasisha lugha ya Kiswahili, kwa sababu wazazi wasipozungumza lugha ya Kiswahili, watoto wao hawazungumzi lugha ya Kiswahili. Na jinsi ya kujua ama kujifunza lugha ya Kiswahili ni kwa kukiongea Kiswahili. Sasa pale nyumbani unaweza pata wakati mwingine wazazi wanapaswa watumie lugha ya Kiswahili kwanza, wanafunzi ama watoto wao waweze kujua vitu mbalimbali. Vitu mbalimbali ambavyo viko pale nyumbani. Mtoto ajue kikombe kinaitwa kikombe katika lugha ya Kiswahili. Sahani inaitwaje? Wanapopika wazazi wanaweza jaribu kutumia lugha ya Kiswahili, wanatamka maneno kutumia lugha ya Kiswahili. Pale ambapo wanapozungumza, hapo ndio huyo mtoto anajua hatusemi hivi katika Kiswahili, hili neno halitamkwi hivi katika lugha ya Kiswahili. Kwa hivyo pale wanaposoma na kujua lugha ya Kiswahili, wazazi wasiongea lugha ya Kiswahili, pia sisi walimu tutakuwa na tatizo kuwafunza au kufunza ile lugha, sababu ni jambo jipya kwao, hawaelewi kwa nini sisi tunawafunza na hawakizungumzi pale nyumbani. Kwa hivyo pia kusoma ni njia nzuri sana ya kuwafunza watoto mapya. Kwa hivyo pia tunawahamasisha wazazi waendelee pia kusoma vitabu vya Kiswahili na kukizungumza Kiswahili pale nyumbani.
Umekuwa ukifunza Kiswahili katika mitandao, ukitumia jina Jifunza Kiswahili na Bimasi. Nini kilipelekea wewe kuanzisha hilo jukumu la kufunza Kiswahili katika mtandao?
Naam, nilianza pale darasani. Nakumbuka tulikuwa tunasoma Kiswahili na wanafunzi siku hizi hawapendi sana kuzungumza Kiswahili sanifu kama tulivyozungumza hapo awali. Kwa hivyo nilijipata tunaanza kuimba nyimbo sana pale darasani ili wanafunzi waweze kukumbuka. Sasa siku moja nikaanza kuchukua video pale darasani, na nilipoichukua nikaiweka kwenye mtandao na nikawaonyesha. Wanafunzi walifurahi sana. Nikaona sasa kila siku wanasema tunaweza tengeneza video nyingine, tunaweza fanya nini. Alafu sasa tulipoanza kutengeneza tukaanza kuona pia kuna video zingine za Kiswahili. Sasa tatizo lilikuwa kuwa hazikuwa au hizo video hazikuwa zinatusaidia vile hasa katika mambo ambayo tulikuwa tunasoma. Kwa hivyo unapata zilikuwa video za kitambo au si za darasa letu ama daraja letu pale ambapo tumefika. Hivyo sasa hivyo ndio nilianza sasa kutengeneza video. Kama ninafunza nomino leo natengeneza video kuhusu nomino. Naona wanafunzi wanaiona ikiwa njia nzuri ya kusoma, ni njia ambayo inawafurahisha, si vitabu tu kila wakati. Nikaanza kuona pia wakienda nyumbani wanaonyesha wanafunzi wenzao ama marafiki wengine hizo video. Nikaona ni njia nzuri sana ya wanafunzi kusoma, kwa sababu wanafunzi sasa wameanza kupenda hizi njia za kidijitali. Sasa hivyo ndivyo nilianza njia yangu ya kutengeneza tovuti yangu ya Jifunze Kiswahili na Bimasi.
Na mapokezi yake yamekuwa vipi? Watu wanaichukulia aje huo venye unafanya kufunza Kiswahili katika mtandao?
Naam. Nilipoanza haikuwa mapokezi yake hayakuwa mazuri sana, lakini tuliendelea tu, na sababu yangu ya kuendelea ilikuwa kwa sababu ilikuwa inasaidia wanafunzi wale ambao nilikuwa na wao kwenye huo wakati. Sasa tulipozidi kuendelea ndio nikaona pia watu ambao kutoka shule zingine ama tukipatana na walimu wengine wanasema na ile video ulitengeneza ya nini ilitusaidia sana tulipokuwa tukisoma. Unaweza tengeneza nyingine ya hivi. Sasa nikaanza kuona kuwa hizi video sasa zimeanza kusaidia zaidi ama zimepita sasa zaidi ya darasa langu ama zaidi ya watoto wangu. Kuna watu wengine ambao wanasaidika huko nje. Pia hadithi nilianza kuhadithiana hapo kwenye tovuti yangu pia, na nikaanza kuona wanafunzi wanafurahia sana kila wakati. Sasa polepole tukiendelea, naona pia watu wameendelea tu kukaribisha huu mwamko mpya wa kutumia nafsi hii ya dijitali kufunza.
Umeandika vitabu 4 kwa lugha ya Kiswahili na hivyo vitabu ni vya watoto. Swali la kwanza, mbona Kiswahili, na swali la pili, mbona watoto?
Naam, mbona, wacha nianze na mbona watoto kwanza, kwa sababu watoto ndio njia rahisi ya kuanza kufunza kitu. Ukitaka kuanza kufunza kitu lazima uanze pale na watoto, kwa sababu hao ndio msingi. Tukifunza hapo kwenye msingi, watu wanapokuwa ni kama vile tu tunasema ukifunza mtoto njia ambayo inayofaa na pia akikua hata iacha, ni kweli. Sasa unapofunza kutoka kwenye msingi, hao watoto wanakuwa kama wamepata huo msingi na wanaendelea nao. Kwa hivyo ni rahisi kwao kueneza kile ambacho umekitia ndani yao. Hiyo ndio sababu ya watoto. Na pia kwa sababu watoto bado hawajaanza kupata ama kuharibika kwa njia ati sasa hawapendi Kiswahili ama tu kupata hiyo negative attitude towards the Kiswahili language. Kwa hivyo bado sasa hao ndio watu wazuri kabisa sasa kuanza kufunza Kiswahili na kuonyesha utamu wa lugha ya Kiswahili. Kwa nini Kiswahili? Kiswahili ni lugha tamu sana. Kiswahili ni lugha yetu ambayo tulikuwa nayo. Kiswahili is our heritage. Kwa hivyo tunapokitumia ama tunapoifunza lugha hii, tunajivunia tu kukua wa Kenya. Hii ni lugha yetu ya taifa pia. Kwa hivyo ndio maana nilichagua Kiswahili. Pia mimi nakipenda sana Kiswahili kwa sababu kinatusaidia sana, ina bridge the gap between the local, the global, kinasaidia mambo mengi sana.
Na kwa maoni yako ni mchango upi mchango wa Kiswahili katika masuala ya biashara na uhusiano wa kimataifa? Imechangia vipi? Lugha ya Kiswahili imechangia vipi katika mambo hayo mawili?
Lugha ya Kiswahili inatumika katika biashara. Watu wanapoenda kutafuta ama to close deals, pia katika nchi zetu za Afrika Mashariki, Kiswahili ndio lugha ambayo inatumika sana sana. Kwenye soko sana sana tu Kiswahili ndicho kinachotumika. Hata juzi tulikuwa na a lecturer ambaye alikuwa anatufunza na alikuwa ametoka ughaibuni, na alipofunza zungumza maneno ya Kiswahili na jinsi ambavyo hicho chumba kilibadilika tu, kaanza kuona sasa kila mtu anaona ni kama amekuwa mmoja wetu kwa sababu tu alitumia sentensi ya Kiswahili. Kwa hivyo mimi naweza sema Kiswahili kinasaidia sana kuonyeshana tu huo pale ambapo tumetoka, na pia kwenye biashara, kwenye soko kama nilivyosema hapo awali, hiyo ndio lugha sana sana ambayo inatumika, ndio lugha rahisi pia kwa watu ambao hawajaweza kupata masomo sana sana, lugha ambayo ati sasa wameenda kwenye nchi zingine za nje. Hapo at the local level, Kiswahili ndio lugha ambayo imekuwa rahisi sana kuzungumza na watu. Naam.
Allow me to ask you this final question in English. From where you stand, and I'll take this as your closing remarks. How can we make language learning, especially when it comes to indigenous language, more accessible, especially now that we are talking about Kiswahili?
Yes. Awesome. So by speaking it, of course, so just embracing the language. First of all, let's just try to ensure that in all the spaces we are in, at least we are trying to amplify the Kiswahili language. How to make it accessible? We now have digital tools where we can use different ways to make Swahili accessible. We have songs, we have stories, we have authors who can write stories in Kiswahili to just try and amplify. And truly, there is a gap in in the stories that have been written. So we can also try to go back to our roots. And one way that Kiswahili, we might close that Kiswahili gap is because most of the stories that kids are reading nowadays are stories that have been written by probably somebody who is not in the country, somebody who's not able to relate to our struggles or our challenges or even our roots. So the best way to do that is to write our stories based on our own experiences, so that even the kids who are reading these stories are able to relate to what is there. They are able to at least borrow something and learn something. Those are the different ways I would say we can try and make Kiswahili accessible. And I love that we are already trying to also speak it oftenly and even show the people who are coming to our country that there's a way to belong here. If you try and speak Swahili, if you try and throw in one or two Swahili words, then that will show that you belong. I also see a future where Kiswahili is not just, a language, but also a backbone of our digital economy to just help us also connect to our heritage.
Thank you so much, Mercy, for joining us on Good Morning Kenya and talking about celebrating the growing influence of Kiswahili language. This is where we end.
Thank you for having me.
This is where we end this conversation. That has been Mercy Kihugi, who is an educator, mentor, and a literacy advocate. This conversation ends now. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Mike Migwi. Vivian Ndego is up next with Health Tuesday. Stay with us.
Wewe ni mpenzi wa Kiswahili, mwalimu, mwanafunzi, msanii au shabiki wa lugha yetu? Tarehe 7 Julai mwaka 2026, usikubali kubaki nyuma. Jiunge nasi katika siku kuu ya Kiswahili duniani, kusherekea uzuri, utajiri na urithi wa lugha yetu. Hafla hii inadhaminiwa na maktaba Mat Educational Publishers, Kenya High School, wakishirikiana na KBC, wakiwemo washirika mbalimbali katika elimu na utamaduni. Tutakuwa na burudani, mijadala, mashindano na maonyesho, yote yakiakisi utajiri wa Kiswahili. Mnakaribishwa. Kiswahili ni fahari yetu. Tujumuike, tusherekee na tukiendeleze. Karibuni.
Professor Githu Muigai's legal training was boosted when, upon graduating from the University of Nairobi in 1983, he joined the Columbia Law School, where he earned masters in law. Upon returning to Kenya, he taught at the University of Nairobi, rapidly establishing himself as an authoritative scholar, consultant, and practitioner. He was a legend at the Parkland's Law Faculty, where students regarded him as an erudite, articulate, opinionated, and charismatic. Professor Muigai is a founding partner at Mohammed Muigai LLP, where his prowess was undisputed. As his professional stature rose to commanding heights, he found himself drawn to public affairs locally and globally. In 2000, he was selected to the Constitution of Kenya Review Commission, a panel tasked with delivering Kenya's first attempt at a fundamental constitutional overhaul. After his appointment to CKRC, he went on to earn a PhD in law in November 2002. In 2008, he was appointed a United Nations Special Rapporteur on contemporary forms of racism, xenophobia, racial discrimination, and related forms of intolerance. He also served a term as a judge of the East Africa Court of Justice between 2008 and 2010. He was appointed Attorney General by President Mwai Kibaki in August 2011, following the retirement of Amos Worker, who had served for 2 decades. Professor Muigai continued to serve as the Attorney General under President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration after the 2013 general election. He resigned in February 2018, citing a desire to return to private practice and academia. He is listed in major international arbitration institutions as a member of the Permanent Court Arbitration, a member of the London Court of International Arbitration Africa Users Council, among others. His focus in recent years has been strongly on international arbitration and dispute resolution rather than direct public office. Jackie Wimbiru, The Cabinet.
Thank you for staying with Good Morning Kenya. We now talk matters health, and our conversation today is mainly on Ebola, and we're looking at the front line defense. We know that this is an outbreak that is within our region, to be specific in Uganda and the DRC Congo. Just how prepared is Kenya as a country to deal with it in case the outbreak gets to us, and how much are we ready, or what are we doing rather, to ensure that we are keeping it at bay? Those are some of the questions that will be answered right here, as I am joined by the Kenya National Public Institute Acting Director of Public Health. I'm joined by Dr. Victoria Kanana Kimonye, who is the public health leader, and she's here to just speak on this and get to inform us, give us the proper information on matters our preparedness when it comes to Ebola. So welcome to the program.
Thank you, Vivian.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this. First of all, when we talk about our preparedness all together as a country when it comes to matters Ebola, just how prepared is Kenya?
Okay, I'd like to say that we think we are fairly prepared, but you can never be too prepared. We say in our setting that you're tested by the outbreak itself. Yeah, that is when we know whether the systems we've put in place are truly working.
Yeah.
But I can assure Kenyans that we have been working every day since the declaration of this outbreak to ensure that our preparation is as best as it can be should we get a case within the country.
Why is Kenya considered at risk?
Kenya is considered at risk because of our position regionally, especially in East Africa. And we have a very big transportation hub, both land crossings and air transport. That is the main reason we're considered at risk. Everybody in the region comes into Kenya, and we also travel within the region. So really, that's why.
So are we in a position, as it is right now, to be able to detect, any possible case of Ebola?
Yes, I would say so. And there are a number of things we've done to ensure that we can detect a case in case it comes in. One, we have done a lot of health worker training, which we are still continuing. So far, we've trained over 3,000 health workers. We are using even modern technology like Zoom to just sensitize them on the issue. So there are more than 2,700 who've been trained in that manner, and about 400 who've been trained in person. And basically it is to inform them on how to detect a case, the symptoms, and what to do should it come in. I think there's also a lot of community sensitization going on, because a case could come anywhere. It might not come to the health facility. It could be someone who's living within our estates, our villages, our homes. So we're trying to get that information out on how to recognize it. We have also are trying to make our facilities come up to standard yeah, where these patients would be treated, ensuring that our health workers also can protect themselves when they attend to anyone who may be suspected to have Ebola.
Yeah.
Our surveillance systems are improving day by day, and so I'm confident we can pick a case should it come in. Yeah.
Yeah. You've talked about our health workers, and of course they're usually at the front line in case of such emergencies just arising. So proper measures have been put in place to ensure that they are able to also protect themselves. That's what you're saying?
Yes, yeah, we've done a lot of intensive training on what is called infection prevention and control.
Yeah.
So we've learned over time as people in this space that health workers are the ones who are most at risk when it comes to Ebola. In some of the countries where the outbreak is going on, they are the ones who are getting infected because they are interacting with the patient. So our motivation is to keep our health workers alive. Yeah, because if we do get sick, they are the ones that we are relying on. So we've done a lot of intensive training to the teams that would attend to an Ebola patient in Kenya first. Yeah, they're doing a lot of training on how to put on the PPEs and even how to put them off. Yeah, because science has told us that it is in that time of putting on a PPE and putting off a PPE that someone has the highest chance of getting the virus. Yeah, so there's a lot of intensive training going on around that.
Yeah. So who are on board on this preparedness efforts? You know, of course, the Ministry of Health is on board. You've talked about the health workers that you have been sensitizing.
Yes.
Or, you know, just who else is on board on the efforts?
Yeah, we're working with a lot of people. We cannot do this alone. So yes, the Ministry of Health and other ministries as well, what even call our One Health sectors. We have the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. We have the Ministry of Environment. We have officers from the Ministry of Defense as well who are trained with us, the Ministry of Interior. Then we have our partners, our development partners, both the technical ones and those who even assist us in other ways, and our county governments, of course. In fact, most of the training is done to county government health workers. Yeah, so Okay, yeah, so we began our training with some of the very high-risk counties, and that is Bungoma, Busia, Turkana, and we are continuing. We will be going to Mombasa, Trans Nzoia, and basically a lot of the counties along the corridor. Even as we continue with training, we will also move to other counties. We've done a lot of training in Nairobi, and participants from Kiambu County, Machakos County, Kajiado County. So we are continuing with that training, and we are sure, or we are planning, that every county will be reached as far as this training is concerned. But we focused with some of the border counties because we imagine that is where we are likely to get a case because of the interaction with Uganda at our borders.
So our border points are obviously the most at risk. So the border points, the airports, just how equipped are these stations that we've mentioned, from the airports, the border points, to ensure, how equipped are they to ensure that they have proper screenings going on, and maybe what measures are particularly practically being put in place for that?
Okay, so we have enhanced screening. If you go to JKI today, travelers from certain countries that are a bit more at risk are getting some enhanced screening. What we're asking travelers to do is give us some of the information, and if they have symptoms, we take them aside, do an assessment, and do a testing if possible. Yeah, of course it makes that transition into the country a bit more different. You'll just spend a little time, maybe 5 minutes doing that, but it's very important for us to know who's in country so that we can give them the care they need should they develop symptoms. Yeah, so people put their details, this is where they'll be staying and all that, and we check up on them often. Yeah. And if they do get sick, we attend to them and release them. But so far, let me say that we have had suspected cases, which is good because it means the people we are training are able to pick out. So that is good, but none of those suspected cases has turned positive. So as of today, we still do not have a case in Kenya. So what we are doing at the borders is enhancing that kind of screening.
So we've so far had a suspected or scares, if I may call them. We've had the scares, yes. And when this happens, where do we begin from there? So maybe there's this traveler who's just come in and there are suspected maybe Ebola case. So what happens from there?
Okay.
If you could just take me through that.
Yes, sure. So once we get that information, and we get it in many ways. Sometimes it's the traveler themselves who take themselves to a hospital and say, I have these symptoms and I have been to Congo or I've been to Uganda and I'm feeling this way. So they are attended at the facility, and what we have is that those facilities call us, and we send our rapid response teams. So we have county rapid response teams, and we have the national rapid response teams. So these teams are usually the most, I would say, sort of the experts, a little more than others. And so they will know how to attend to that patient. They go, they take a history, where the patient has been, what it is they are feeling. They take samples, and then those samples are sent to the labs that are doing the testing. We have 4 labs in Kenya now doing testing for Ebola. That is the National Public Health Laboratory. 2 laboratories, KEMRI CDC here in Nairobi, and KEMRI in Kisumu, and we have a mobile lab that is stationed in Busia. We'll soon have another one in another border point. And so when that testing is done, and so far they have been negative, we get that report, and now we also investigate then what else made this patient sick. They get treatment for that, and then they are sent home, of course with precaution, and told to just look for, to just make sure that they keep themselves well, and even look for more symptoms just in case. So that is how it has been working. When such emergency outbreaks come, there's usually a lot of misinformation going around. So maybe just what categorically are you doing to ensure that there's proper risk communication being communicated? So we are putting a lot of effort to ensure that people get the right information. This being one of the ways, by coming here to tell Kenyans what Ebola is and how we are addressing it. We've sent out advisories to our counties, and we're encouraging our county governments to continue with that risk communication, even at community level. And this is something that we'll be doing every day. Ebola or no Ebola, our responsibility is to communicate to Kenyans on diseases that have outbreak potential. So really that is what we are doing. Maybe in line with that, maybe if we could just point out some Ebola symptoms that we should all look out for. So Ebola initially will present like many other illnesses, like malaria or even a flu. So someone is likely to feel a lot of fatigue, serious fatigue. They're very tired. They feel very tired. You're likely to get a headache, and you feel like you're just not yourself, what we call general malaise. You can get a fever, a high-grade fever. That's a fever above 38.5 degrees Celsius. You might have some abdominal pains, and with this particular strain, Bundibugyo, those are the symptoms that people are getting. Abdominal pain, some diarrhea, and vomiting. What people know is the bleeding that comes with Ebola, but that might not even happen, or it might happen much, much later. So once you have those initial symptoms, fatigue, headache, fever, abdominal pain, it is very important that someone visits a health facility, yeah, and says, this is what I'm feeling. And if they feel that they were at risk, beyond that, being at risk means they either traveled to DRC or Uganda, or have come into contact with an Ebola patient, or have handled bushmeat, like butchering and handling bushmeat, or spent time in areas where we have bats, fruit bats, then they need to give that information, because then the health worker will know how to handle them. So those are the symptoms that you initially have when you have Ebola. So you see, it's like malaria.
Actually, from the symptoms you just mentioned, it may come out as malaria, may come out as typhoid, because those are almost the same kind of symptoms that are experienced.
A flu. So we call them non-specific symptoms. And that is why it's very important to go to a health facility. Or you can call 719, which is a number which we've activated in partnership with Safaricom, which I should have mentioned, also partnering with private companies that can help our cause, so Safaricom, and you get the information where to go.
So that's a toll-free line?
Yes, it is.
719.
719. And you can also get information from it by typing in star 719 hash. Star 719 hash, and you'll get information. So that is why we are saying go to a health facility or call 719, and we can get you help. I'd also like to tell Kenyans that many counties have their hotlines as well, and you can get that information from your counties, but to find a way also to inform Kenyans that these are the numbers the counties have said you can call when you need assistance.
And when it comes to detection, I believe our laboratories also play a big part or a big role on this. So just how equipped are our laboratories for this, and do we only have specialized specific facilities that are able to handle this case in terms of just testing for Ebola, or most of our laboratories are equipped for that?
For this particular strain, not all. It is the 4 I mentioned, and soon to be 5. So I think I can mention them again.
Yes, please.
The National Public Health Laboratory, KEMRI Laboratory here in Nairobi, another KEMRI Laboratory in Kisumu. We have a mobile laboratory in Busia, and we'll be deploying another mobile laboratory soon, most likely at Luahaha border point. So these are the ones that are testing for the Bundibugyo virus in Kenya today. And as we continue to build our laboratory capacity to ensure that our dream would be that most labs can treat all sorts of diseases, and we are working towards that. But those are the 5 that can do that, and do that very well, because they are accredited. Because what we don't want is false results. That can be very disastrous. What we have also is a very good sample referral system. So once we pick a sample, we can have the first result in 6 hours. But we need to confirm that result. So we do 2 tests, actually. So all in all, that process would take at most 12 hours. And we are trying to shorten that time as much as possible as time goes on.
I hear you on that. So unfortunately, this is not the first time we are having this outbreak in the region. Fortunately, Kenya hasn't contacted any of this. So just, are there lessons that we've been able to draw, as a country from the previous public health emergencies that have occurred? Are there specific lessons that you can say we've drawn from that, just to inform the current preparedness? Mostly because of other outbreaks. Once you hear an outbreak in Uganda, or the ones that were in Tanzania or Rwanda or the Congo, because they've had them a lot, we try and do some preparedness as much as possible. And we've learned from them, because we have forums where we sit as countries within the region, and they give us their experiences, and really we rely on that quite a bit to inform the actions that we are taking. So
they tell us most of the time it is the health workers who suffer the most. So we focus on training our health workers and making sure our health workers are ready to respond to a case. They tell us your labs should be up to standard. Yeah, because once you get false results, then you have the disease moving around the community and no one knows that it is Ebola. So yes, we rely on what they have gone through to inform the kind of preparedness efforts that we do.
Yeah. So that is also playing a big part.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, we have a standing meeting with Uganda every Friday. We started it last Friday, and we just via Zoom we talk. Yeah, they tell us this is what we are going through. Look out for this. Do this. This is how you can help us. So yes, yeah, we talk quite a bit with the other countries. Yeah, yeah, and support them morally. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
I like the bit of supporting them morally because it's needed.
Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes, or more often than not, we might not get everything right, right?
Yeah.
So maybe what would you say are some gaps that are yet to be filled, specifically when it comes to maintaining a high level of preparedness?
Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, a case can come anywhere, even in the community. So what we are doing it, but we have not optimized it, and we really want to optimize is get the information down to the community so that every Kenyan is aware of Ebola. And not only Ebola, all our other outbreak diseases. Yeah, we have diseases which are common in Kenya. Yeah, there are almost 19, 20, and they keep having outbreaks around them. So would like every Kenyan to be aware and to know what to do. So we are putting a lot of effort there. The other thing is in the screening along this transport corridor. Yes, we have started, we are doing our best, but we can do better. Yeah, we feel we can do better, and we are getting a lot of support from our partners on that, all our development partners, and of course the government, which has actually committed to funding these efforts, so that anyone who's coming in through our borders, we support them as they go around with their normal economic activities. If someone like a truck driver falls sick while they are transporting their goods, they need to find a place where they can seek health care immediately, and good health care. So those are the things we are trying to work on. They need a place where they can get information, right? So those are the things we are trying to improve.
And you know, speaking on that as at the same time, you know, there have been conversations that yes, screenings are happening at our border points, yes, but mainly it's only happening to maybe the truck drivers, but there are those that are coming in on foot. You know, they're not using the trucks or the buses, but they are coming in one way or the other. Maybe a bicycle, a motorcycle. Would you say that that is lacking? Because there have been conversations around that, that those who are coming in maybe through bicycles or motorcycles or just on foot, then they're not getting screened, or they're not being screened. So just how true is that, and what are you doing concerning that?
Okay, so let me say at the border point, screening is happening, but I want to paint a picture of what it is like at a border point, and also understand what the disease is like. So Ebola, you will only be able to test or know someone has Ebola once they have the symptoms, not before. So you come in through the border doing your normal things. You know, border communities they don't know the border. You're the one who knows the border. They're in school in Uganda, their families in Kenya. You know, it is a wonderful community that lives there. It is Kenya that knows that has a border, and Uganda knows that has a border. I'm just giving an example, right? So they're going through their normal day-to-day lives. So they're not sick, right? They're not sick, so screening there can be difficult because we pick up people who look sick, right? So we will miss them in case they're incubating the virus. But where will they develop the symptom? In their home, in their village. And that is why that community knowledge is very important. So screening is going on, but we are unlikely to pick up a case at the border. And if someone goes to the border, it is one day they are going through, right?
Yes.
If they're incubating it, they will get it maybe along the journey into the country, yeah, or in their home, right? Yeah. So that is why it's important to focus a lot on the community, yeah. But we still have to screen at the border because we can pick people who are likely to, you know, there you will ask, where exactly were you in DRC?
Yeah.
And if they tell you they are the epicenter of the outbreak, then you take the information so you can follow up. Just in case they get sick. Yeah.
So overall, practical measures are being put in place to ensure that Kenyans are secure.
As
and
much
I think
as
that
possible.
is the question that most Kenyans have.
Yeah.
Are we really secure?
Yeah.
And is the government and the Ministry of Health ensuring that we are safe as a people,
Yeah.
you know, matters Ebola?
Yeah. The resounding response to that is yes. Yeah. Yeah, we are safe as much as possible. And where there are gaps, that is what we are here to do, to address those gaps or challenges. And the government is doing a lot, even in providing resources to ensure that these activities we have planned to do will be done well. And I think enough resources so far, and we are quite grateful for that. Yeah.
I want to get back on, you said you are big on ensuring that you're getting the information down to the communities because that is where it matters most. Because that is where maybe you may experience someone who has a symptom, a family member, or just a neighbor who has a symptom, and you know, if they are not aware of Ebola and the symptoms around it, then it may be able to spread. So now, on getting that information down to that person, you know, in that area that may be high risk, maybe just, if you may just elaborate further on what exactly is being done. There's this, which we're doing right now, which is public awareness as well, helping with public awareness. So maybe, are there specific structures that have been put in place in these small communities to ensure that information is actually being passed?
Okay. So our plan, is, I mentioned we began with very serious health worker training. And these health workers are also people we call the trainers of trainers. So once they get this information, they will go into their counties, their communities, and their facilities, and they interact quite a bit with our community health promoters. In Kenya, we have a big team called community health promoters, and these are the people who are talking every day with the community. So we usually train our community health promoters through their channels, and they are the ones who now pass that message onto the community. So that really is the structure that we'll be relying on and using. Initially, we have focused on the health worker side of things because we needed to make sure if a patient comes in, they'll be attended to. But now we are trying very hard to get that information down to our villages, as much as possible, and we'll use the community health promoters structure. It's a very well elaborated structure. They move around the villages and our estates, talking about all manner of diseases, and we'll just add Ebola to one of the things that they will be talking about. We also have risk communication experts who we are intending to ensure that they interact with media, radio, television, quite often to just pass that message. Of course, you know, influential people within the communities, religious leaders, our influencers, anything that can get the message across, we are willing to do, and of course plan for and execute.
Still on the same, maybe just as a people, what practical steps can ordinary Kenyans, just we taking responsibilities ourselves, what practical steps can we take in order to ensure that we are reducing the risk?
So being a virus, Ebola can basically, you can, you know, let me not say eliminate, but in your day-to-day work, just ensure that you keep yourself clean. Basic hand washing, yeah, or use of sanitizers, just like we did when we went through COVID. I think Kenyans understood how to keep themselves sanitized or clean as much as possible. Should you have been in contact with anyone with Ebola, yeah, or have traveled to Congo or Uganda, especially where the outbreak is to ensure that you don't spend too much time in a crowd because you don't know who you're interacting with. Yeah. If you're going for a burial, do not, touch a body, because if they did happen to pass away from Ebola, they can still transmit the virus, such like practices. And when it comes to handling meat, to avoid as much as possible handling bush meat. Yeah, the butchering and touching of that meat. Yeah, because you can get the virus through those kinds of practices. But to keep our general areas clean, sanitize always, wash your hands always. Yeah, that is the message I would pass across, because Ebola is transmitted through our body fluids, tears, saliva, sweat, any body fluid. That is how blood. That is how Ebola is transmitted. So also keeping our surfaces clean, yeah, and that's cleaning with alcohol or even soap and water. Yeah.
Do we have Ebola vaccines, and is that a conversation that is relevant in Kenya?
Okay, yes, that's a conversation that is relevant everywhere, because if you get the vaccine, then of course we can protect ourselves. So for this particular strain, the Bundibugyo strain, we do not have a vaccine and we do not have any medicine to address it directly. There are vaccines for other strains, but not for this one. But scientists all over the world, I think, are working towards a solution, yeah, as we speak. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Another question that is relevant rather, or has been also a question that has been asked, is just how prepared are our health facilities when it comes to matters isolation? Do we have facilities that have adequate isolation and ready for such an outbreak? And also, when it comes to even protective equipment, do we have enough of that in our facilities?
Yeah. So we've just concluded an assessment. We did an assessment the better part of last week and the week before that, going around the country and seeing if our facilities are up to standard in as far as being isolation facilities. And we found that some are. Yeah, others not quite, and some work needs to go into making them standard to be isolation facilities, particularly for Ebola. Yeah, I know many of them had been designated as isolation facilities for things like COVID, especially during COVID. Yeah, but for an Ebola isolation facility, it requires to be a certain way to reduce the risk of transmission. So that report has just been concluded, and there's a lot of work to do to make them ready. However, do we have facilities that are ready to take in a patient today? Yes, there are. Yeah, the facilities are there and the clinical teams have been trained. So what I'm saying is, if a patient, we get an Ebola patient today, there's a place they can go, they will be treated and they will be discharged and can go home. Yeah, so we do have isolation facilities that are ready to take up even up to 20 cases. Yeah, so yeah. Kenyans can be rest assured. Yeah.
And you know what, when we talk about this particular disease, I'm sure the county governments play a really huge role, specifically because most of them, are the points of entry. Just maybe when we look at the county governments, what is their immediate role in this?
The county governments are the ones that are playing the major role. Yeah, if you get sick in a county. It doesn't matter which county, even if it is Nairobi, and you will go into a Nairobi County facility or a Bungoma County facility. Our work is to ensure that the health workers who attend to you are trained and know what to do. So the county governments have been doing a lot of work as well by ensuring their their health workers are trained. Yeah, some of them I know are planning to purchase now the PPEs. Many have made their isolation facilities available. Yeah, in the quarantine facilities, and their ambulance services as well. So no, they are doing quite a bit, and we do have some PPEs in country. You had asked about our personal protective equipment, and we're also planning to purchase more so that we don't have any stockouts. But as we speak, there are enough to address the first case for sure. And they'll soon be coming in more rather.
Okay. So as we come to as we finalize on this conversation, just all together, the current Ebola risk assessment. Do we have it? Do we not?
Oh, we did a risk assessment about 6-7 weeks ago. Yeah, and from that risk assessment, we were rated around 66%. We looked at it and we were told these are the things you need to work on. We have been working on those things. So I'm sure it is much more now, but we have not started to do it because the recommendation is to do it after 6 weeks. So now we are due to do another one. And so maybe you can call me or one of our colleagues another time to come give an update. But I'm sure now we are much better than where we were.
How is that done?
How it is done? We work with WHO, because they have the technical expertise on this, and there are certain questions that we answer. How many people have you trained? Do you have isolation facilities? Do you have ambulance facilities? Do you have PPEs? Have you instituted a coordination structure? Those kinds of questions. Those are the ones that we answer.
So you're yet to do the next one?
The second one. We are yet to do the second one and see now where we are after addressing some of the challenges that were brought up in the first one.
All right. What would you like to just speak directly to Kenyans about on this as we finalize now?
So first, it is to assure Kenyans that the government is doing all it can to ensure that first, as much as possible, we do not get an Ebola case within the country. But in case we do, and it is possible because we are at high risk, that person will be treated well and our healthcare workers will be protected. So that it is to assure Kenyans about that. Secondly, it is to urge Kenyans to listen to trusted sources of information, and that is the Ministry of Health or the Kenya National Public Health Institute, or any of our leadership, our executive leadership. Because once you protect yourself, then you are okay. So that is what I'd like to tell Kenyans.
All right. Thank you very much. And also just to remind our viewers the number that they can be able to maybe call or even get information on matters Ebola. If you can just repeat, the number is 719. You can be able to call it direct. It's toll free.
It's toll free.
All right. And you can also just dial *719 hash. Proper?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. *719 hash. In case you have you need more information on Ebola, you can be able to just dial that or call that number, and you will be able to get to understand more or get to be assisted in case there's a scare around where you are. And this is a conversation that is very important for us as a country. It is not far-fetched because our neighbors right next to us have it. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for just elaborating and giving us information on this. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Vivian. And it was also a pleasure to be here and to talk to Kenyans. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Now, my colleagues are in studio with me, Mike and Victor as well. I believe that you've been following this conversation, and it's a conversation that is relevant to us as Kenyans at the moment. Right, Mike?
Yeah, it's a very relevant conversation, given that our neighbors are experiencing a surge in that in the outbreak of Ebola, and it's only good to be very ready for any eventuality. So It's a conversation that is well in time and making sure that Kenyans know what to do in case we have this an outbreak or even a reported case of such a contagious disease. We need to be ready, Victor.
Absolutely. And, you know, the government has been on top of the game.
Yeah.
Remember what has been happening even in Laikipia, trying to build a quarantine center and equip it fully. But so far, actually, the only thing that we can be proud of as a nation is that so far there is no reported case of Ebola in the country.
Absolutely.
And we all know the ripple effect, should we have one. But as it is, we are a happy lot. There is no scare. But they always say, prevention is better than angoa.
Yeah, and it's better to be safe than sorry.
Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Exactly. And exactly. So we all need to be alert. You don't have to put our guards down. And it's good that we have an expert in studio.
Yeah,
all
and
right.
people in politics today, Victor, as always heated up. Yeah.
Absolutely. And my panelists, actually, we were trying to tackle issues that will be affecting us as we head to the election. Something close to us, the ethnic arithmetics that normally we tackle with and we normally consider, more so when it comes to the presidential election and the seat. It matters a lot. But then the panelists talked about, you know, it's high time that we put it aside. But will it really come right in time? I'm not so sure. I said Tanzania has more than 120 tribes and ethnic tribes. More than 120. Kenya, we are around 47, 48.
Yeah.
But you'll never hear Tanzania talk about, I come from this tribe, I come from that tribe. That was planted by their father, that is Julius Nyerere. And they talk about something called ujamaa.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Togetherness. But here, for us, I just hope that one day we'll wake up and say, no.
And I wonder how we got there, and also just maybe what are the specific things that we can be able to ensure that we're moving out of it. Because it's unfortunate to say that for us it's more like a culture thing, and there's nothing as hard than to revert or change culture. So I don't know maybe what exactly would get us to a point where, you know, we don't get to the election period and then we have now the my people, my person, our community thing happening.
All that began actually the dependence.
There is something that people need to understand. You being of a tribe in which you belong, you did not choose to be there. God put you there. So why do we then have to use that to our disadvantage instead of celebrating our diversity? Yes, we have problems as a country, but we should not see each other from the prism of tribalism. Our diversity should be used to our advantage. We look at each other and see a brother and a sister, regardless of who is in politics, in leadership positions. When it comes to choosing matters of leadership and governance, we look at a competent person, not looking at where they come from, who they are. The aspect of Mtwetu is what I think has destroyed the outlook of our politics and how things pan out in most cases.
But I would say that as a country, to some point, we've been able to do away with it, because I feel like it only comes up, that tribal card only comes up when we are headed to an electioneering period.
We all know who pulled that card at the right time, right? Yeah, we all know who pulled that card. All right.
Yeah.
So today being a big day, the World Cup is still here. And as KBC, we will give you all the matches that you need to. Argentina will be taking on Egypt, the Pharaohs, at 7 p.m. And then later on in the night, we'll have Switzerland versus Colombia. So this is my prediction, again.
You're changing it? You're changing the prediction, or it's the same prediction?
No.
I thought you changed your mind.
This is my prediction.
I thought the little birdie gave you a different...
No. Yeah. My prediction is still the same. Switzerland is going to fall for Colombia. The South Americans have actually shown that if they can find a very good space, then they will upset Switzerland. I will give Colombia 2 and Switzerland 1. All right? And then the Pharaohs,
if they play their card very well, they might score 1 goal. But Argentina, being the defending champions, Messi is going to go there with one mind, that he needs to add the number of goals, because already CR7 is out, the contention. Cristiano Ronaldo is out of the World Cup now. That is Portugal. So the only person remaining here is Messi. And Messi is going to push Argentina, being the defending champions, number one. Number two, he also going to go to that match having in mind that he needs to add the number of goals. Haaland has 7, Messi has 7 goals, and then you also have Kylian Mbappe from France, 7 goals. 7, 7, 7. So if Messi manages to break that jinx tonight, then Argentina has got a lot to carry home tonight. And please, this is me. Watch out for Argentina, because being defending champions, they have got what it takes to defend that. If not to the finals, then they might just go up till the last whistle of the World Cup. That's my prediction. Argentina 2, Egypt 1 or 0, 2-0 or 2-1. Yes.
And I mean, with the World Cup this time round, we've seen a lot of twists that were not expected. So I know everyone is, you know, everyone's prediction kind of lies with Argentina winning this game, tonight's game. It's actually going to be shown on KBC at 7 p.m. So you should have your eyes on that. But what if Egypt actually does surprise us?
That's an upset. Well, it's not surprising, you know, game ni 90 minutes. Ndio wanasemanga. Game ni 90 minutes.
They could surprise us. And I don't know, I like Messi too, but I would like to see such kind of, you know, just such kind of a surprise happening, you know, whereby Egypt gets it.
Egypt
and
has
they
a
get
very
to
good,
go on.
They have a very excellent, by the way, organization and grinded. Remember when they went to the shootout with Australia, Australia, to reach the stage. So they have a very good defensive, but my problem is their backline is not so good. It leaks. And that is where Argentina is going to take advantage of. Remember, Messi is one slippery kind of a person.
Yes.
Messi is very slippery. So if they will be able to break the backline of Egypt, well, it is very okay and quite intact. But if they'll manage to break it, then I can see Argentina cracking that. And the moment, you know, 1 goal is scored in a match, you get disorganized.
Yes.
Another one will fall in, another one will be netted. So many things will be asked. So I have a feeling that the Pharaohs have a very huge task in tonight's match. If they happen to hold the Argentinians until the last whistle, probably they might go up to the extra time. But I don't think that the Argentinians would want to go that extra time. They'd want to finish it in the regular time of 90 or 6 minutes plus at the time.
As they say, mapema ndo best.
Mapema
ndo always best.
Exactly.
As we finalize on this catch-up, maybe Mike, a bit on your conversation today.
Yeah, we were speaking about the World Kiswahili Day, which is today, the 7th of July, which was designated by UNESCO. And there are people who are making strides in making sure that Kiswahili is well known. One such case is the guest that I was interviewing, that is Masi Kihugi. She is an educator and a mentor. Also, she has an online platform where she teaches Kiswahili language, not only to young ones, but also even, she mentioned, foreigners, which means Kiswahili is taking a different shift in terms of growing its influence. And given that it's something that is being taught even in outside, especially in the West, in a country like America, I think Kiswahili's influence is growing. And given that over the continent we are having over 14 countries and now with the introduction of Kiswahili language in schools in South Africa, we are going to see a rise in the number of people who use this language. And given that now that people are teaching it online, that influence is going to grow. That is how that conversation went.
Yep.
All right.
All right. I'm looking at the traffic, if you know what I'm talking about and why I'm looking at the traffic. The traffic in the CBD is absolutely clear.
Yeah.
It's major roads in the CBD. It's very clear. coming into town, Thika Road is flowing very well. It looks okay. That is Muranga Road. Come to Langata Road is also very fine. Ngong Road is very fine. Everything is just okay. And I think because of the scale of the Saba thing. But all we can ask you is that if you really have no purpose of going to the street, please just stay at home. And if you have to go there, you know what to do. Obey the law and nobody will interfere with your freedom as well.
Exactly.
All
Can
right.
you do an outro in Swahili, Victor?
Yeah. Thank you. What did you say?
You do an outro in Swahili.
Outro in Swahili?
Yes.
Oh, asante sana kwa kuungana na sisi tangu mida saa 12:30 asubuhi ya leo. Na kwa hivi sasa tumefika kikomo cha kikomo?
Yeah, ni kikomo. You are on the right track.
Okay. We've come to the end of Good Morning Kenya.
Tupatane kesho, majaliwa yake Mwenyezi Mungu.
Asante sana kwa kuitizama KBC Channel 1.
All right. Kwaheri.
My name is Julius Yego, sixth African, African champion in the men's javelin, also the African record holder. My experience at the World Cup is, I think the African teams have really tried, even though we have 2 teams still remaining in the tournament. But I think that the other 8 teams really showed, high standard, high level, like a team like Kefat, which plays so well, DRC. They played well, but I say maybe Morocco will be a team to watch again, like the last World Cup, and I think it will be the team that will take Africa maybe to the finals this year. Let's wait and see. We wish them all the very best, and yeah, I still believe that Morocco can, cause a surprise again in this tournament. Remember also to watch World Cup on KBC TV.
Trying to get in the middle towards you-know-who again. Could still find them. Dug out towards Oscar Bob on the near side. Chance to shuffle his way through. Here's Odegaard. He's gone down. It's a free kick for Norway. 2 minutes to go. Yellow card. First of the game. It's Neymar.
Yeah, it's naughty by Neymar, and he's just left something on him. He's not just once or twice, and doesn't do his coach any favours. He's come on and had no impact in the game whatsoever. Norway, Odegaard, he's been...
Palestinian militant group Hamas announces the dissolution of the body that has governed the Gaza Strip for nearly 2 decades. The UN Human Rights Council passes a motion to condemn RSF atrocities in the besieged Sudanese city of El Obeid. And as President Nandi Ndaitwah begins her state visit, we'll examine the state of relations between Namibia and China. Hello and welcome to Africa Live. As always, great to have you with us. I'm Richard Ntal, live in Nairobi. And for those of you joining us from across the continent and around the globe, we thank you for joining us. And tonight, I'm alongside my colleague Uche, who has our business headlines. Over to you, Uche.
Thank you, Richard. And here is a look at what's coming up on Africa Live. Oil prices fall by more than 1% after global oil alliance OPEC Plus agrees to raise its output targets. And Mauritania expands cash support to vulnerable families. That's amid a cost of living crisis. Of course, all of that coming up within the program, but for now it is back to you, Uche.
Thank you so much, Uche. Once again, a very warm welcome to Africa Live. Let's begin with our top story. Funeral proceedings for Iran's late supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, continue in Tehran, with Iranian media reporting millions in attendance. The body of the former supreme leader will be taken throughout Iran's capital today before proceeding to Qom on July the 7th. Khamenei's successor, his son, Moshtaba Khamenei, has still not made a public appearance. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said that any Iranian leader who attempts to advance plans to destroy Israel will be thwarted. Katz had previously said Moshtaba was marked for death. Our Ehsan Kiavani has the very latest from Tehran.
2 days of mourning and funeral ceremonies in Tehran's Grand Musalla, a venue used for major religious ceremonies and prayers. Then on Monday, the last day of ceremonies in Tehran before the former supreme leader's body transferred to other cities for further funeral ceremonies. Initially, it was supposed that the coffins of the supreme leader and his family members were moved from the east of Tehran towards the west of Tehran, but then the officials changed their mind and then they immediately transferred the bodies to Azadi Square or Liberty Square in the west of Tehran. And now we see crowds of people, hundreds of thousands of people marching towards the west of Tehran to join the procession and to bid the final farewell to their supreme leader, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. During the 3 days of ceremonies in Tehran, one slogan was heard more than any other. The dominant slogan we can hear among the people, the majority of people in Tehran, is revenge. As we heard such slogans in the Grand Musalla in the first 2 days of mournings. Today on Monday in the funeral procession, we see the same slogan chanted by the majority of people. Revenge for the blood of their late supreme leader, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. The bodies spend their final hours in Tehran before going to other cities. Ehsan Kiavani, CGTN, Tehran.
In Tehran, crowds gathered in a show of support for Iran's leadership, with many expressing grief, loyalty, and anger towards the United States and Israel. Speaking at the event, several attendees called for revenge, praised Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei as a role model, and vowed to continue what they described as their struggle despite international pressure.
We came to seek revenge and for the complete eradication of America and Israel. America must definitely leave the region. We came to seek revenge.
He was a legend. He's the role model for all Muslims around the world. Personally, for me, Mr. Khamenei is the most important role model in my life. He lived in our time and was excellent in every single aspect, from every point of view.
We want revenge for the blood of our leader. This is the duty of all the people. It is the duty of the entire nation. They must come out today. They must rise up.
I came for my leader to say, Trump, did you think we are not seeking blood justice? We will seek it, and we will stand firm until the very end.
Palestinian militant group Hamas has announced the dissolution of the body that has governed the Gaza Strip for nearly 2 decades, clearing the way for a technocratic committee to take over. Hamas's government media office says the Strip welcomes the swift entry of the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, created by the Board of Peace established by U.S. President Donald Trump. The move marks a significant political shift by Hamas, which has run Gaza since its fighters seized control from rival Palestinian movement Fatah in 2007. Since a ceasefire took effect in Gaza last October between Hamas and Israel, the group has repeatedly said it is prepared to step aside from day-to-day governance, but the issue of its disarmament remains unresolved. China's National Observatory has extended an orange alert for heavy rain and a blue alert for Typhoon Maisak. The typhoon made its second landfall into South China's Guangxi Shuang Autonomous Region over the weekend, bringing the torrential rains to parts of Nanning, Qinzhou, and Beihai. Water levels of 29 rivers in Guangxi are above warning levels. Authorities in Nanning have ramped up the city's flood response to the highest level. China's National Development and Reform Commission has urgently allocated 100 million yuan from the central budget for typhoon recovery in Guangxi. Some trains operating on the Guangzhou-Zhanjiang high-speed railway and other routes have been suspended. Well, in Venezuela, the death toll from last week's earthquakes has risen to more than 3,300, with at least 16,700 injured. More than 6,400 people have been rescued, while over 17,000 remain displaced. Meanwhile, what's expected to be China's first batch of quake relief supplies, 80 tons of aid in total, have now arrived in Venezuela. Venezuelan Foreign Minister Yvonne Gill and Chinese Ambassador to Venezuela, Lan Hu, received the supplies at Caracas Airport. Gill thanked the Chinese government and its leaders on behalf of the Venezuelan people, saying China had maintained close communication with the Venezuelan government since the earthquake struck. Sen Chijuan with more.
China sent the first batch of humanitarian aid to Caracas on Sunday morning on a charter flight. The shipment includes 20 generators, 8 water purification units, and 200 disinfection machines, 200 sets of solar power lighting equipment, more than 1,700 tents, and over 6,700 blankets. This is in addition to immediate cash support released to Venezuela by Beijing. From the list of requested items, we can see that the disaster-stricken areas are in need of tools to generate electricity, ensure safe use of water, and support resettlement of affected people. In a post on social media, Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, said she sincerely thanks President Xi Jinping for the humanitarian gesture. She also expressed gratitude to the Chinese government for its solidarity with and support for the Venezuelan people in the aftermath of the earthquake and for standing with Venezuela during this difficult time. Additional humanitarian relief supplies will be dispatched from Beijing in the coming days.
Wildfires in Europe have devastated more than 17,000 hectares of land across a number of Western European countries. Greek authorities have evacuated residents in Thessaloniki, the country's second largest city, as firefighters try to contain a fast-moving wildfire in the city's north. In southern France, a forest fire has ravaged more than 1,600 hectares and is still spreading. Officials have closed the third stage of the Tour de France to the public due to risks from the fire. In central Portugal's Vozela area, a wildfire has scorched at least 12,000 hectares of land. More than 1,200 firefighters, 400 vehicles, and 15 aircraft have been mobilized to contain the blaze. In Spain's Catalonia region, some 500 firefighters and emergency responders are battling to contain a wildfire that has destroyed 2,300 hectares of land. The blaze is headed towards Girona and the Gavarez Mountains range in northeastern Spain. Namibia's president has arrived in China for a 7-day state visit. It's Netembo Nandi-Ndaitwah's first trip to the country since taking office early last year, and it begins in the southern city of Guangzhou. The visit coincides with the 36th anniversary of the bilateral diplomatic relations and is expected to boost cooperation across key priority areas. In 2018, the two countries elevated their friendship and relationship to a comprehensive strategic and cooperative partnership. China is Namibia's main trading partner. In 2025, bilateral trade reached $1.85 billion, up 36% year on year. China's foreign ministry said the visit will elevate their bilateral relations to a new high and contribute to the building of what it called an all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era. It added it hoped the visit would also support the Global South's pursuit of strength through unity. Many in Namibia hope their president's week-long visit to China can reap dividends at home.
China's got a very strong industrial sector, so that can also include for Namibia, where they're trying to move with NDB6. So that's literally just what we're looking at, what is coming from these talks, but we really expect good and fruitful for the 5 to 6 years for 2030 vision coming forth. So we're really seeing that China can assist Namibia in that sense. So yeah.
And my hope is that, from this entire engagement is that the engagement translate into tangible economic benefits, opportunities, all job creations and all, the benefits that we could possibly think of that Namibia truly needs.
Well, for more on this, we are now joined by Professor David Monnier, Director of the Center for Africa-China Studies at the University of Johannesburg and co-director of the Confucius Institute in South Africa. He joins us via Zoom from Johannesburg. Professor, thank you for joining us here on Africa Live. First and foremost, the Namibian president, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, is on a state visit to China. How significant is this visit at this time?
This is quite significant for a number of reasons. I think firstly, it's her very first trip to China as a head of state, and it comes at a time when China and the African continent relation is strengthening following the 2024 Forum on China forum, and in which a number of agreements were made between Africans and Chinese, and therefore for Namibia specifically, I think there are quite a number of follow-ups as well as new opportunities in new areas in which the two countries will reaffirm their long strategic relationship.
All right, Professor, what are the biggest areas of cooperation between the two countries, and which sectors are expected to receive the most attention during the discussions?
Namibia is quite rich in minerals, and the relationship between China and Namibia, I think it has been growing quite significantly, as the previous speaker has mentioned, in terms of figures. But one is expecting more discussions around rare earth, strategic minerals in a number of areas, but the mining sector, in infrastructure, and discussions in Namibia's attempts to go on to industrialize, as well as expectation from Namibia and across the African continent for technological transfer and a number of new sectors that are emerging in China, of which Namibia would want to take advantage, particularly on skills development, education. So quite a number of areas will be on the table.
Well, in light of what you said, Professor, what's your assessment of the relations between the two countries, and how does it fit into China's broader engagement with Africa?
Namibia and China have a long history going back to the liberation struggle, firstly with the founder of SWAPO, the late President Nyoma. And I think you've seen with each decade the relationship developing far beyond politics into economic areas, and this in itself, it shows and demonstrates the strengthening of that relationship. Namibia is a stable country, and it is also taking advantage of its relationship with China within a broader Africa through the AU in terms of strengthening key areas that are important to Namibia, as well as beneficial to China itself.
All right, going forward, what steps can both countries take to advance their bilateral strategic partnership to an even higher level?
There are a number of areas. Technology, I think, is key. New areas, and I think it will be broadened into ensuring that